Have your attention. Welcome everybody to the event this evening. Very happy that you could all make it. It's brought to you by the Idaho GOP and the Leadership Institute. The chief organizer at our end is Beverly Gannett right here. Hi, Beverly. She's the vice chairman of Region 2 and our logistics coordinator. So thank you. I'm Brent Regan, and I am the IDGOP Region 2 chairman, and I'll be your MC tonight, so I'll try to talk as little as possible. Before we get started, I just wanted to kind of review the facts about Proposition 1 so we all understand what's going on. There's a lot of misinformation about this, so I want to be sure that we're clear about it. Prop 1 allows late-term abortions more expansively than prior law, including Roe versus Wade. It prevents abortions up to fetal viability and redefines viability as a point at which a baby can survive without medical measures, such as oxygen or neonatal care. This would allow abortion on demand until the 8th month or later for most pregnancies, long after fetal pain capacity has developed. Prop 1 eliminates or undermines parental consent and notification laws. Because it applies to every person, regardless of age, this would let minors obtain abortions without parental knowledge or consent. It endangers abused minors by allowing abusers to conceal evidence of pregnancy or abuse, and it leaves parents unaware of potential medical complications. Prop 1 broadens who can perform abortions and increases risks to women. It removes the requirement of being a physician and to allow any healthcare provider, broadly defined as a licensed person or entity providing healthcare or medical treatment. This removes a key safety protection and raises the risk of complications. Maternal mortality has improved under Idaho's current law, the Defense of Life Act, without any prosecutions of doctors. Prop 1 repeals or nullifies multiple existing safeguards. These include parental consent rules, waiting periods, ultrasound requirements, late-term abortion restrictions, and other limits built up over decades. It would bring abortion providers such as Planned Parenthood back to the state after they left following the post-Dobbs ban. The current law has already saved thousands of babies while avoiding the predicted harms. Prop 1 has broad unintended consequences. The sweeping privacy and reproductive rights language, which applies to minors and healthcare decisions, opens the door to transgender procedures at taxpayer expense without parental notification and invites challenges to other laws protecting children. The high legal bar for restrictions, narrowly tailored to improve or maintain the health of persons seeking care by the least restrictive means, and the liability shields would make meaningful regulations difficult. These are the facts. This is what we need to know. So tonight, we're getting a lot of information from a bunch of different sources. It's going to be very valuable information. Please pay attention. There's going to be some asks for donations. There's some signs that we have out in the lobby that are for sale for a small donation. We encourage you to do that. So for now, we're going to begin with the invocation. Normally we have an invocation before the meal, but Pastor Tim Remington is so talented, he'll be able to do a retroactive invocation for us.
In other words, those that have already eaten, keep it down. So who would have ever believed that we would be in this place today? It just amazes me that they have went after the family all this time, and so many people have just thrown the family to waste. If you don't have children, you don't have family. And that's what they're going after, is the family unit. And it blows me away just to know that we're standing here and having these type of meetings where we have to somehow try to figure out how to fight this on a political level. So we need to get on our face before God. God is the only answer to all of this. We can try our best to do things, but if we don't invite God as our guest of honor tonight, and God into all of this, and Jesus and what he did on that cross, And this nation doesn't stand a chance because it's going to hell in a handbasket. And so, would you bow your heads with me? Father, I pray that the food that we've eaten, Lord God, I pray that it would be safe. I pray, Father, that it will bless our bodies and give us strength to accomplish what you called us to do. But then I pray tonight, Lord God, especially, we're praying for something that's very, very dear to your heart. And that is to save babies. And I pray, Father, that Proposition 1 would never even get up. It would never get off the floor, but nothing would happen with it at all. I pray that it would be crushed. Now, I know better, Lord God, than to believe that everybody believes the way that we believe. But I pray, Father, that you will somehow, Lord God, discipline us to do that which is just, that which is right. Help us, Lord God, to save babies. They don't have anybody else fighting for them. They don't have a defense attorney that's right there when mom decides to do what we hate her to do. And so I pray today, Lord God, that you would show up and you would be their defense attorney and work through all of us that are here, Lord God, to be able to somehow save all of them. Any ones we can. Move through us and everyone that's in this place, Lord. And we're going to give you the glory and the honor and all the praise for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. I would now like to invite the chairman of the Brittany County Board of County Commissioners to up here, Bruce Matari, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is a very important meeting tonight. Please remove your hats if you have, hand over the heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Please be seated. I would now like to invite the hardest working woman in the party to come up here, Madam Chairman Dorothy Moon. Come up.
Two people on one stage. Hey, thank you all for coming out here tonight. What a great group. This is number 6 for me and Dina. We started down in Boise, Meridian area, then we went down to Twin Falls, then we went over to Nampa, then we went up to Grangeville, and then we were in Moscow last night. And so this is the best one yet as far as attendance goes. I don't know, but I think Dina and might have calculated we're going to be close to 1,000 people will have been trained on how to fight this proposition. So I couldn't be more proud. So the IDGOP started back last year and actually started working hard on this issue, just like we did on ranked choice voting. And a lot of you are PCs, a lot of you are members of the Central Committee or regions or legislative districts, and nothing could be more important than to fight on this proposition, just like we did on ranked choice voting. I really feel in my heart we're going to defeat it, but I do see that there's a little, some stodgy people not quite throwing this thing under the bus yet, and they better get on it. I want to thank the Catholic Church for coming out proactively 2 weeks ago to say that they are against killing babies. So thank you. I want you to know that we've been getting material out, so not only were we doing these speaking engagements, and I really had a great time with Dina. You're going to love her. You're going to learn so much. And we're going to have her come back. She's going to come back. We're going to do 3 more of these down in southeast Idaho and Idaho Falls, Rexburg, and Pocatello on the 29th, 30th, and 31st of August. Oh, yes, Ponderay, thank you. That was a late add-on. That's correct. And then she's going to drive all the way through Missoula to get down to Idaho Falls. We have a lot of material we've been putting out. You have seen these signs. You might have seen this sign without Vote No on Prop 1 because we were proactively reminding people that babies are important in Idaho. And so now that we found out it's on the ballot, we added that strip across the bottom. We have now just delivered 2 8-foot by 16-foot signs, one to go on the barn up there on 95. It's going to be big like this, so be ready for that. And we've got another one that will be going on the southern side of the town. Make sure you get your signs when you leave. We are asking for $5 for one of these with the wire, or $20. If you don't have the money, take the sign. But when you buy a sign, we can buy more signs, and more signs, and more signs, and we've got to get them up in Ada County, folks, because we don't have hardly any signs in Ada County. So, if nothing else, this area, every place I just mentioned that we visited, we're going to be the ones that actually offset any gains that Prop 1 might have in Ada County. So that's the serious part of all of this. You guys are great. Thank you for being here. Again, you're going to learn a lot. Just know that on September 18th, it's game on. It is not November 3rd. It is September 18th, the first absentee ballots will go out. Okay? That's 5 weeks, people. I know, I just got goosebumps when you did it. I got goosebumps all the way down to my toes. I'm telling you, that's very frightening to me. So everybody, forget about it. When you're at the fair, you talk it up. You tell people, 9-month abortion, parental rights are gone. It's not a physician, it's just a healthcare person. Anyway, there's a lot of bad stuff in it, and if you don't like one part of it, you have to vote no. No, 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 no. Thank you for being here. Yes, 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 I appreciate you. Thank you.
Next up, I would like to invite the Open Arms Executive Director, Vicki Scribner. Come up. Vicki?
Thank you. Look at this room. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is huge. And you guys are the ones, look around, you guys are the ones that are going to lead the fight, because you're going to get an amazing training tonight and learn how to speak about this and learn how to read between the lines. So thank you for taking 3 hours out of your night to come to this training. Dina is amazing. Put on your seatbelts. So as mentioned, I'm the Executive Director at Open Arms, Real Choices Clinic here in Hayden. We've been serving Cooney County for 25 years. This is our anniversary, and we've grown so much. We have so many services I'll tell you about. You've heard the narrative from the other side that we don't care about women, that we're just here to shame them or trick them or coerce them. No, let me tell you what we do. We are here to protect them, and we are here to give women the truth. We're here to support a woman who's just found out that she's pregnant and has no idea what she's going to do. So we hear all the time from women who've had an abortion that they've been told that was their best option, and they're given a big bill to pay. And then we also hear from women who've taken the abortion pill. Nobody told me what I was going to see. So we want to give them truth, and we want them to understand what they're going to encounter when they go for an abortion. A woman deserves better than a sales pitch and a bill. So we give them truth. We want her to know that no matter what she decides, we will stand with her and support her. We will walk her through her pregnancy and beyond. We don't just give her a pregnancy test and an ultrasound and a pack of diapers and say, have a nice life. We walk with her. So let me walk you through a scenario of what that actually looks like. She comes in for a pregnancy test. We give her an ultrasound where she can see her baby's beating heart. And in the best version of this story, she's going to decide to stay with us and engage with us throughout her pregnancy. During that time, we're going to offer her free childbirth education, parenting education. We have all kinds of information and lessons and classes that we can give her. We have an advocate that walks alongside her. Along the way, as we get to know her, we can learn of other things going on in her life. Things happen along the way. A woman may walk out of our clinic and say, yes, I'm going to keep my baby. But then 2 or 3 months goes by, she has a tragedy in her life. Her boyfriend leaves her, or she loses her job. She's extremely vulnerable to abortion. So the more we can engage with her and partner with her and learn about her, the more we can support her and say, you're going to be okay. You got this. And so I want to tell you just some numbers. This year, we've had over 1,500 appointments. and 1,000 of those were repeat patients and clients. So women and men come back. That's what relationship looks like, and that's what makes the big difference. So we're on track for almost 2,500 appointments this year, and we're praying that through our marketing program, we will reach more and more abortion-determined women so they can come in and learn truth and know that they don't have to live in fear, that they've got this, and they've got support, and they're not alone. So far this year, we've served 69 women who came in with unintended pregnancies, and 53 of them chose life. And also, we want to serve and equip the men to step up and be good fathers and good supporters. We want to launch healthy families. So our fatherhood program is thriving. So far this year, we have 279 dads enrolled in our fatherhood program. Please pray that they stay engaged. They don't like to come hang out as much as the women do. And our men's, hi Gary. Our guys work really hard to keep these guys engaged. They come in and we really need to keep them engaged. So we put a great emphasis on launching healthy families. So we have numerous other services. We have a table out in the lobby. So I encourage you to all go out and see Donna at the table after this is over and learn about all of our other services. I'm going to just give you a couple of stories because the narrative is, we don't care for women. So we've recently helped a woman. This is my favorite story. If you've heard me speak recently, you've heard this story, but it's what we do. A lady who her baby was conceived in rape, and the world would say, no, you can't have this baby. You'll be reminded, all the things. You'll be reminded of the guy. The baby's going to remind you of him. No, this baby is the joy of her life. She chose life for this little girl. And when they come into our clinic, you can just see the love between them. That little girl saved her life. Well, she's working 2 jobs, and she's living in a very, very, none of us would live in a place like she lives, but she does what she can. Her car broke down. She's got 2 jobs. She's going to school. Well, her car broke down. So thanks to the support that we get from our community and our benevolence fund, we were able to help her get a new car. Now, if she hadn't had a car, she couldn't keep working. She couldn't go to school. She's trying to better her life. So this is how we walk with women beyond their pregnancy. The other thing that we offer, besides, material goods and help, is we have child developmental screenings. So they can bring their children into us up to age 5, and we can check them for milestones, making sure they can stack the blocks or pick up the Cheerios with their fingers, and our nurses can evaluate these kids, and if they fall behind and aren't meeting milestones, we can connect them with specialists for free. So that is a huge service we offer way beyond the birth of the baby. So we want to serve these women as long as we can, as long as they perceive the need for our services. So, I run a clinic. I'm not a politician. I'm not a lawyer, but I am someone who has sat in a room with a scared woman and watched her face change when she saw her baby on the ultrasound. The ultrasound is this amazing tool where they can see a baby this big with arms and legs. They're told it's a blob, they're told it's not a baby, and it is the most amazing treasure to be in a room with a woman when she sees that baby and cries and she says, oh my goodness, and I see the heartbeat. So, that's the heart that I speak from. And I've seen what happens when you give a woman real support instead of a fast solution. Abortion does not fix things. She's going to end up very often with trauma, depression, there's guilt, there's, they think it's going to fix everything, and it's like this short-term solution to a lifelong issue. It's going to haunt her for the rest of her life. So, we want to help take away the fear in her life so she doesn't think she has to make that choice. I could stand up here all night. I think I got 5 minutes. But anyway, I just want you guys to understand the work that we do and why we are here, because these women that are going to choose abortion need to know that they've got help. They are not alone. We're going to walk with them. We're going to walk with their partners, their husbands, their boyfriends, whoever we want. We want them to be. Do you know that the man is the number one reason a woman chooses to keep her baby or not? If he is supportive, she's more likely to keep her child. And so we want her to know that we're serving him. Hey, we're going to help your guy raise up to be a good provider and a good supporter for you. And we're being very successful at that. We started bringing men into the pregnancy test appointments. We started bringing men into the ultrasounds. They get to see their baby for the first time right alongside with her. We had a guy recently, the woman wanted to have an abortion, and he saw that baby on the ultrasound screen, and he said, we could do this. I'll be there. And she changed her mind. So that's what we do. We walk alongside people. We don't just give them a pregnancy test and say, you're pregnant, here's the diapers. So you guys, there is support in our community. And when you hear all these things, the other side says that there's no help, there's no health care for women. We provide so many free services. We're a medical clinic. We have lots of other medical services, and we have a lot more support services. So please come see us at the table and learn more about what we do. So thank you, and put your seatbelts on, because I think Felix next. This is a fight for life, and we have to win it. And you guys, you're here. Everybody else isn't here.
On your tables, you see a giant baby bottle. There's a slot on the top to put money in. And everybody should be putting some money in. That goes directly to Open Arms to help out. Okay, so if you want it, there's also a QR code if you want to donate directly. Okay? That goes directly. Thank you very much. Let's give it a hand. All right, one more quick speaker before we get to the main event. From the Stop Clock One, Sarah Johnson. Why don't you come on up and give us a quick briefing.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Wow, it is amazing to walk into a room full of people committed to protecting life in this state. My name is Sarah Johnson, and we will see if this slide will keep up with me. I am a Leadership Institute volunteer. I also work for Stop Prop One, but I'm here in my capacity as a volunteer. Before I got involved in campaigns, of which those are all statewide ballot initiatives that I've been part of, but before I did that, I was a Leadership Institute student, so I am a big fan. In fact, all of you should have on your table Morton Blackwell's Laws of the Public Policy Process. I have some of these highlighted because I still say them about once a week. Never get mad except on purpose is one of my favorite things to say. And because I'm a Leadership Institute graduate, I keep two numbers on my desk. The number of days until the election, which as Dorothy reminded us with absentee ballot and early voting, it's definitely sooner than this. And that number is 81 days. I haven't updated the slides, but it's 81 days, and we need 50% of the vote. So with Morton Gladwell's exhortation, we are going to be reminded, one of the last ones is, moral outrage is the most powerful motivating force in politics. And that's something that we use a lot in ballot initiatives. So when you're telling people, hey, if you're pro-life, you should vote a certain way on this initiative. I always like to say if you're pro-choice, you should also vote a certain way on this initiative. And the reason is because it's poorly written. So that's one of the arguments that we use. So this is the actual proposition. You have all heard incredible presentations on why Proposition 1 is wrong. But here it is in writing. As you scroll through it, it actually proves true everything that we are telling people. So one of the reasons that in my experience in working ballot initiative campaigns, our imaging is often the language of the initiative. When we are running a no campaign, we say, hey, you can't trust them. Read their language. They're lying to you. This is really, really extreme. Like Brent explained, there's no healthcare provider. That's not a doctor. Well, guess what? All you have to do in order to get them to believe you is say, hey, have you read it? Have you read it? That sounds crazy. There's no way they wouldn't write a doctor into this. But no, they didn't. It's a healthcare provider. So one thing that you can do to capture the moral outrage of the undecided voter is to say, if you think that doctors should be involved, don't you think they should have written it into their initiative? Why don't you read it? And here's the deal. All of you have now read it because we've gone through it on this slide. So you can say, I've read it. It's not in there. The other thing that's really extreme, and I'm having a hard time seeing which slides we're on. The other thing that's really extreme is that every person has a right to reproductive privacy. Now, a lot of conservatives, which I imagine most of us in this room are, we love the words privacy. We love the words freedom. They put both of those in the title of their initiative. But that right to reproductive privacy applies to every person, and they didn't define that. So every person includes minors. Minors have rights to abortions without their parents' knowledge. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can read it in the text of the initiative. So that's some of the things that I have learned as we have talked about ballot initiatives throughout my career is be the person who tells voters the truth. Connect them with what is actually true. Oh, did they say that abortion would just be a little bit more in the state if you pass this? Is this just a return to Roe? That's not what they wrote in their amendment. So you can actually take the words that they wrote and show voters, hey, they actually meant this to be far more extreme than you think. And the one line where we see this the most is in the short ballot title. Right at the very first thing that voters will see when they go to cast their ballot is measure creates a right to abortion up to viability. That on face value for most people in Idaho is too far. We know viability to be between 21 and 24 weeks. But when you read the text of the amendment, they meant viability to be when a baby can stand outside of the womb without any extraordinary medical measures. So there's a deception hidden in the very language of their initiative. So it's too far on face value, but the more you dig into it, the more that you read, and the more that voters read the text of the initiative, the more we will be able to capture that moral outrage. So remember, if you are pro-life, this goes way too far. If you are pro-choice, this probably also goes too far for you. And that's the way that I like to talk about initiatives with people who are undecided. And these are all of the folks, Dina assembled this list from the state of Idaho that qualify as a healthcare provider. There's some pretty crazy things on there. But here's one way to capture moral outrage is to tell voters the truth. Because the other side is not going to talk about that. The other side's talking points are going to be freedom, privacy. That's what we believe in. Don't you believe in freedom and privacy? And the undecided voter goes, oh yeah, I do. But that's not what we mean. But here's some examples of viable, of babies that would be considered viable under state law now, that would not be considered viable under this initiative. And we all know preemie babies that have survived with extraordinary medical measures, but this initiative would count that against them. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dina. Thank you all so much for being here. You're going to learn so much. This is one of my favorite classes. And here is the Lady of the Hour.
Hello, there we go. If you are a medical provider, stand up for me. If you are a medical provider, go ahead and stand up. So we've got somebody standing over here. What are you? A nurse. Okay. If you are a licensed medical provider, if you're an acupuncturist, if you're an audiologist, if you're a person that fits, don't sit down. I did not give you permission to sit down. Massage therapist, athletic trainer. Now, for those of you that are standing, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, 10. Another woman, you just decided you're a medical provider. Okay. She's like, oh, I am licensed. I can do that. I'm an athletic trainer. Okay. For the no, do not sit down. Jeez, oh, Pete. I can see we're going to have trouble following directions on this half of the room tonight. Good job standing and staying standing, guys. Okay, for those of you who are medical providers, I want you to yell out really loudly for me. Well, first of all, are any of you medical providers doctors? If you're a doctor or a physician, raise your hand. Okay, none of them are physicians. Well, one of them is a physician. Okay. Okay, for everybody else, yell out very loudly for me. Should you be allowed to perform an abortion surgery? 1, 2, 3. No. Well, I only last the 10 that were standing. And none of them actually yelled. Everybody else was like, no. Okay, for the 10 that are standing, yell loud enough for everyone else to hear. Like primal scream loud. Pretend like you were a Hillary Clinton voter on January 20th, 2017. Okay, should you be allowed to do abortions? 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, under this, you will be allowed to do abortions. Now, for everybody else, do you want these people doing surgeries on your daughters? 1, 2, 3. No! Then, for the rest of this thing, you're going to answer. When I say, then you need to, you guys are all going to say either, then you need to vote yes on Prop 1, or you need to vote no on Prop 1. So watch, we're going to do it again. Do you want these people doing abortion surgeries on your daughters? 1, 2, 3. No! Then you need to. Okay, about a third of the people got it, but the rest of you will get it. You healthcare providers, thank you very much for all you do. Sit down. Okay. Just want to dive in and really dwell on one point. I'm going to go back. Whoopsie, back. The one that I think is like egregious. When I figured this out, every time I talk about it, I have talked about this initiative more as I've driven across the state because people keep going, oh, you're from out of town. What are you doing here? Because I'm kind of on the shoulder of typical travel season, right? I've stopped at the Ace Hardware. I got a massage at Massage Envy. I talked to a very, very nice state trooper one night late outside of an airfield down on I-55 or whatever. He was very nice, by the way. He was very interested in this and what I was doing in the state driving so fast. True story. And I look at them all and I go, and I just did it today as a matter of fact. I was stopped at I went over to Staples, just around the corner here, right before I came here, and I went shopping, pick up a couple extra supplies. Some of you guys might have noticed giant sticky notes on your chairs. I love sticky notes. So anyway, they said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a public speaker. I get to go around teaching leadership skills, and what that means is I get to teach people how to talk about the issues that most concern them. And I say, I've been invited into the state by the pro-life community to talk about Prop 1 and teach them how to talk about being pro-life. Because I work for a 501c3 nonpartisan nonprofit, so I can't endorse during my actual training, which hasn't begun yet for the record, a yes or no vote on Prop 1. And then they say to me, oh, what about Prop 1? I haven't heard about that one. I'm like, oh, well, it allows abortions, but here's the thing. It allows abortions with no doctors. The first time I said that to a man, he went, I was like, oh, I hit a nerve, right? If you're going to suddenly go like that and shake your body, I hit a nerve. I used this on the girl at Massage Envy. She was tattooed up her arms and she had the giant gauges on her ears. No reason for me looking at her to think she would be, conservative. And I said, it takes doctors out of the abortionists so that any licensed a healthcare provider can do an abortion, including Joe back there that just did my massage. She went, it's like, sweet, got her. Then I hit her up with, and I did the same thing to the cop and everybody else, and no health and safety inspections of your abortion facilities. So even though they're doing surgeries, no health and safety inspections. And I said, oh, get this. They actually are putting it into the law that if a healthcare provider messes up while doing any sort of reproductive health care, including delivering your wife's baby, you cannot sue for medical malpractice. And they all look at me horrified because they know. If a doctor, sorry medical peeps, sorry Dr. So-and-so, but if you screw up, we want your insurance agency to cover our medical bills until we get better. This goes through, and if your daughter is giving birth, if your wife is giving birth and something goes wrong, there's no money for your family. You're on the hook for those medical bills. And not only that, if your child's school nurse convinces her that she's a boy This happened to one of my best friends down in Florida. School nurse convinced her that she was a boy because she had been molested as a very young child. School nurse did not know the background. Asked the girl when she came in and said, I don't feel comfortable in my skin, I feel weak. Well, what will make you feel strong? Being a man. Maybe you should try being a man. 8 years later, she's still living as a man. Against her parents' wishes. But she's an adult now, so there's nothing they can do. And the school helped her hide it in Florida. It happens in conservative states and in conservative areas. So there's no professional discipline for that school nurse if this passes. No criminal penalties if that school nurse takes her across state lines to get treatment. And as a matter of fact, you'd be able to get that treatment here in the state if this passes. And then, of course, no civil liabilities that we just said. So I lay that on the line, and then the last one I lay on them is about the parents. Oh, and by the way, parents won't know if their girls are having an abortion. And they go, oh, what? So I know. Do you want any of that? And they say, no. Then I say, no. Oh my gosh, you guys are so good. Okay, you're getting it. Yeah, and these babies would all be able to be aborted because generally it's accepted that before 37 weeks, you have NICU at very minimum on call because the likelihood is that the baby will need some sort of medical help. Well, that means abortions for 36 weeks and 6 days. I know, she's shaking her head. So did the lady at not Starbucks. I didn't try it there because I haven't been to Starbucks yet. So did the lady at Staples. And so I said to her, good job, guys. Okay, here we go. I had you put up and think about sticky notes. I want to start off with what's at stake. So what's at stake tonight? Talk at your table for exactly 1 minute. Talk at your table. What did you write down about what's at stake? On your mark, get set, go. Talk.
There's so much happening, really. If we don't say anything, we don't do anything, we can lose our way of life.
So what's at stake?
He's here. You know he's here, right?
10 seconds. Okay, you're going to find, I love giant sticky notes, although these walls don't stick so well, so I might use fewer of them tonight than normal. But I do love my giant sticky notes, and I love writing on my giant sticky notes. So if somebody tell me something that's at stake, just stand up and shout it out. I do ask you to please stand. That way you can see if somebody else is about to shout. So somebody stand up and shout out something that's at stake. Mental health, all right.
The very soul of our nation.
Yep, okay. Lack of respect, yes. I've got a lot to cover, and not time for sermons. Stand up. What was the one I just heard here? Lack of respect, something you got to stand and do it. Oh, it's our healthcare provider that doesn't like standing. Okay, what was yours? You don't respect life. Yes, that's right. Okay, what's next? Who else?
Unsound procedures done.
What? I don't hear somebody standing.
Medical unsound procedures being done.
Unsafe medical procedures.
God's glory.
I heard babies. I heard God's glory. Babies, God's glory. Malpractice. And what was it over there? Life of the mother and the baby. Thank you very much. My hearing is not the best.
Family values.
Parental rights. family values, FAM.
Irresponsible men.
Responsibility.
Sanction of murder.
Stop for just a moment. Wait a minute. There was something that somebody shouted out. What was it? I've got self-respect up there. I actually heard you twice. Okay. Now, other than this prop, what else is on the ballot? Murder is on the ballot. The right to murder is on the ballot. Other than this proposition, I could go out and just start shooting people. No, that is not on the ballot. I mean, obviously abortion is, but other than this proposition, what else is on the ballot? Oh, come on. There's a room full of freaking Republicans. Tell me you guys know what's on the ballot.
Constitutional amendment to further regulate controlled substances.
Okay, so Constitutional Amendment 2 about regulation of controlled substances. What else?
Murder of innocent babies.
END1, English first. Okay, what else?
There's an advisory vote on what should be the
The Idaho state gun, all right. Okay, is there any people on the ballot that we're voting on? The primary winners. Oh, that's right. You guys live in a super red area, so you don't show up in November. One of the guys walked up and said, I'm going to put it up here on the auditor-elect or whatever it was. He's like, because I'm running unopposed. Here's the problem. If you are running unopposed, that means you think you're coasting the victory. But if you're coasting the victory, you're not getting out the vote. So I'm going to write unopposed candidates. Here's one of the biggest problems we have in our system, especially in deep red areas. Nobody goes to vote for the general election. Because after all, I've already voted on my primary candidate. My primary candidate is going to win whether or not I show up to vote, so why does it matter? In the words of, oh gosh, I forgot her name, but it's You Got Mail. Remember the movie You Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan? When Meg Ryan's breaking up with her boyfriend and she looks at him and she goes, remember when Rudy Giuliani got elected? I didn't vote. I got a manicure. And then she walked out of the movie theater. Those were her parting lines. I don't want you guys getting a manicure on election day this year. I want you out door knocking, phone calling, voting, and getting your friends and family to vote, because there is a lot at stake this year. And we need to get 60, 70, 80% turnout in our deep red counties like this one to offset Boise. Okay, so if you guys stay home, if you let your friends and family stay home, if you don't tell your kids to get their absentee ballots before they go away to college, guess what? We get abortion. Do you guys want that? No. Then pay attention to the rest of this presentation. Because here we go. We're going to talk about engaging for victory. By the way, my name is Dina Espenscheid. I am the director of pro-life programs at the Leadership Institute. And what that means is I go around the country teaching good pro-life people like you how to win their elections, how to talk better about being pro-life so that we can make a bigger impact. Because I, for one, don't think we've been winning the culture war, and I don't think we've been winning elections enough, and so we need to do something about it. So I'm here to teach you and help you, show you a better way, and hopefully we can win. I am part of Leadership Institute. Leadership Institute's been around since 1979. This man, Morton Blackwell, founded Leadership Institute. He is amazing. He's very, very pro-life. He basically has said to me, go do it, go serve the community, spend what you need, come back, tell us how you did. So that's exactly what I've been doing, which is why we can offer this dinner to you tonight for free, because we are a 501c3 nonpartisan nonprofit. And our overarching goal is to serve the community, not to build a monopoly, but to serve the community. Our mission is to increase the number and effectiveness of conservatives in the public policy process, which includes things like grassroots lobbying, politics, and the media. We do that by doing trainings. And since 1979, after tonight, we will have trained over 376,000 conservatives. We have an open admissions policy. We don't support or oppose candidates, proposed legislation, or political parties, and the faculty views are not necessarily the views of the Leadership Institute. So the rest of the night tonight, the things I'm going to teach you are pretty, well, they're obviously leaning pro-life, but the ideas and how we get there are philosophically neutral. So if you find yourself sitting in the audience and you're actually a yes voter surrounded by all of us no voters, because I would be a no voter if I lived here, just flip everything I say on its head, and it works for you. And I'll demonstrate that along the way. Okay, here we go. So we just talked about what's at stake. Now the next question for you guys is, can we win? 1, 2, 3. Yes! Oh, I love that you guys are yelling so fervently. Thank you very much. Most of my crowds go, yes. This makes me happy when you yell nice and crisp and clear. I love it. Okay, so Sarah stood up here and she talked about capturing the moral outrage. This stuff makes you mad, right? Right, good. So let's talk about how we control the message, how we capture the moral outrage. I am going to demonstrate for you and teach you how the campaigns come up with messaging on campaigns like this. Because a lot of people come into this thinking, oh my gosh, I've had at least 4 people over the last 6 nights come up to me and go, I made this flyer and I'd like to pass it out. I always give them permission. And at the end they walk up to me and go, you taught something completely different than what I put on my flyer. It's because they wrote the flyer for what they want to see, and I'm going to teach you about what voters want to hear. Does that make sense? Elections are about trust. People will vote with people they trust. We are trying to build trust right now, and we build that trust by the way we communicate. And I'm going to show you better ways to communicate. So let's get into it. So we're going to do message development or developing your message. The first thing I'm going to teach you is called the Leesburg Grid. This is a tool that you can use for any debate that you're going into. I don't care if it is the guns. What is our favorite gun in Idaho? Sir, what's our 2 favorite guns in Idaho that we're trying to decide? Who told me that one? It was somebody over here. It was you. 6 of them on the list. Okay, what's your favorite? The Remington 700. So he can do this Remington 700 versus the .50 caliber rifle. Okay? 2 very different guns. You can do this on whether or not the state legislature should be able to decide if controlled substances go onto the ballot. So Amendment 1 to whichever one that one was. And then you could do this for the abortion debate, which is where we're going to do it tonight. The idea is, as you can see up on your screens there, there's a quadrant. Now this is very similar to a SWOT analysis. Wave your hand like this if you've ever done a SWOT analysis. That was a weak wave, dude. Okay, good. So several of you have done a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But in SWOT, you only look internally. With this, we're going to look at ourselves and our opponents. So up in quadrant 1, that would be the top left corner as you're looking at it. We do us on us. What are all the best things about us? Us being the pro-lifers. What are our best actions, our best organizations, our best values, our best intentions, our best words, the best things about being us. Put it all out there. It's not just the best things that are being at us, it's what do we do, what do we say, who are we? And you put it out there. You have to be honest, you have to include all of them. And then the next one is us on them. So going across, it's us on them. All the things that we say, this is the bad stuff that comes from abortion. This is the stuff we say about pro-choice people. This is the stuff we say about radical pro-abortion people. And I do believe there's a difference between those two. This is what will happen if Proposition 1 passes. And you lay it all out there. Here's all the bad things that come from the side effects and everything else that come from abortion. Put it out there, put it on paper. Then we drop down to them on us. We have to be honest with ourselves. What do they say about us? The good, the bad, and the ugly. What do they say about us? Who are we? Who do they think we are? And you put it out there. And then the last one is them on them. What do they say about themselves? Okay? Now here are your marching orders. Every single table has got a giant sticky note and a marker on it. Find your giant sticky note, find your marker. Okay. These 3 table columns are going to be them on us. What do they say about us? So them on us, them on us, them on us. You ready? Us on us is this table column. Us on us is this table column. Us on us is this table column. Got it? Them on us on us. The next 3 are going to be, let me look at the wall, make sure I get this right. Us on them. So us on them. Us on them. Us on them. Okay? And then our last 2 over here. Them on them. Them on them. So, on your giant sticky note, you're going to write us on us, all the reasons why we're pro-life, or us on them, all the reasons why abortion's bad, or them on us, all the things they say about pro-lifers, or them on them, all the things that pro-aborts say about pro-choice and about themselves. I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and go.
What did we say? We got Reggie. We're only doing that. What did you say about that? This one. No. We're not doing all the water. Us on them. Flip it over. Just flip it over. Because this is put the picture over. So are you fired?
Okay, listen up. So, us on us's. Where were my us on us's? Us on us's were right here, right? Us on us's. Start shouting out some us on us type things.
Pro-life.
Babies are made in the image of God. We're pro-life. What was it? We stand for the innocent and voiceless. What else?
Pro-family.
We're pro-family. What else?
Pro-God.
We're pro-God. We care. We love. What else? What about women, sir? We empower women. Good job. Usually it takes hours of pulling teeth before I get something about women. Okay. Unconditional love. Anything else on us on us?
Human dignity.
Human dignity. What was the one at that table?
Speak truth.
You speak truth. Okay, and then I'm going to call out Vicky. Vicky, you're sitting there. What do we do for women? We support them. We care for them. And what about, okay, babies are made in the image and likeness of God. Is that all that they're worth? Do we help babies? Do we only care about babies before birth? Okay, what do we do for them after birth? I mean, she gave like a 10-minute Tracy's tonight on all the things they do. We buy cars for them. We buy rent for them. All this stuff. And yet, I want you guys to notice in the room, nobody talked about caring for moms and babies until I asked.
We did.
You guys did good, but you didn't shout it out. Okay. Us on that, us on them. Then, what, us on them, what do we have over here? Sorry, I forgot us on them is over here, because it's the top of the thing. So us on them, tell me some things that are us on them type stuff. Depopulation, murder, what else? They lie to women, good job, what else? Destroy families. They manipulate, they kill women, they kill babies. Hurts the most vulnerable.
Cultural impact.
Mom could die. Okay, and what will issue 1 do if it passes? No liability. He said no baby. No doctors. No health inspections.
No accountability.
It's up on the board in case you guys were curious. No accountability. Okay, let's go over to them on us. We're only pro-birth and not pro-life. Let's say it again to make sure everybody understands. Their number one talking point about us is, we don't care about the baby after birth. We are only pro-birth, we are not pro-life. We don't care about the baby after birth. That's important for you guys to remember. It made it up onto my screen there. That's how important it is. What else have we got over here? We don't care about kids in foster care. What else? We don't care about women's freedom. What else? No uterus, no opinion. What else? We're extremists. What else? No tolerance. We're fascists. Bigots. If children aren't wanted, they'll end up abused, so we want children to be abused. We're Nazis. Are we religious moralists that are trying to push our religion on other people? Yes. Okay. And then over here, them on them. What do we have for them on them? They're for women's rights. They're for science. Somebody in the middle said that one. Privacy. What else? It's about healthcare, freedom, yes. We're compassionate, personal choice. It's not a baby, it's a clump of cells. I see that one on that one. We're not judgmental, we're open minds and open hearts. And we care for who? The women, yes, and children in foster care. Okay, very good. Now, looking at your papers. I want you to consider this idea. Here, hold on. Next slide. Next slide. There's this idea that you can draw a line from left to right on any political spectrum. And over here on the left is always Whoopi Goldberg. She is. It's crazy. Karen Johnson says things like, nobody should have guns but my security detail. She says that there's abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy, no excuses needed, taxpayer funding, you want it, we'll give it to you because abortion is a fundamental right, so everybody should have one at any time, and it doesn't matter. Okay? Then over here is usually me. And I'm like, back in 2006, guys, I actually lobbied for and got passed. Now, I was part of a team. I didn't do it on my own. But I lobbied for and got passed and a law that would have protected women from all abortions and children from all abortions, except in cases where the life of the mother is at risk. And that's because we knew back then that you didn't need an abortion to save the life of the mother. So we didn't mind putting it into law. Okay? Now, in between, or for myself and Whoopi, we both have this window of what we're willing to accept. Now, if I look at Whoopi Goldberg and I say, no abortion, period. No excuses, no reasons. Does she think I'm normal or crazy? Crazy. And if she says to me, hey, all abortions, all 9 months, I had 9, I think I'm great. Do I think she's crazy? Yes. In between is this idea where there's a window where everybody else is. If you speak too far outside of somebody's window, they think you're crazy. If you speak too far outside of somebody's what's called Overton window, they think you're crazy. So the idea is we want to speak just to the right of everyone's Overton window. So I want you to look at the stuff that you put on your sheet and cross out anything that sounds crazy. So for example, if we went down to homecoming at any of the big universities, and we stood outside and we said, "Abortion is murder," do we sound crazy or do we sound normal? Crazy. So if you've got abortion is murder, cross it off. Who here had put anything on there about we want to criminalize women for having an abortion? If you didn't, the us on us should have, and the them on us should have. Because we have people in the anti-abortion movement who want to put women in jail or put women on death penalty for having an abortion. And then the other side uses it to say, hey, look, they're trying to put women in jail for having an abortion. You need to vote yes to stop criminal prosecution of women for having an abortion. Let's pause. Right now, under Idaho law, can women be put in jail for having an abortion? No. If that's one of their talking points, does this sound normal to the average person? I want equal protection, which means putting women in jail for having abortions.
That's not what it means. No, that's not what it means.
It is exactly what it means, but we're talking about, it's what it means because that's what the other side says it means, and we're talking about how do we win in November, okay? Between here and November.
But not legal.
Okay, but look, should it be on our list as one of our talking points? We want to criminalize women, or we want equal protection, which means putting women in jail for having abortions. No, because that sounds crazy, right? So if it's on your sheet, you cross it off. So on the count of 3, everyone go through your sheet and cross off anything that sounds crazy. 1, 2, 3.
Since I can't see it, because Angie over there hugging it. Now, forgive me, this was us on the house?
Is it just for us conference to the drinking?
Okay, everyone get their stuff crossed off? Okay, so on the one that I put up here, I crossed off use as contraception and murder as baby killers, and then the equal protection charge mom with crimes. And so between now and November, those are not themes that we are going to be using because they don't sway the average person. They're outside of the Overton window. Now I want you to look at it and say, what do I think will sway the average person? And you're going to circle those. If you've got any on your sheet that you think need to be circled because they'll sway the average person, go ahead and circle. I'll give you a hint. I've circled the ones on my board. I'll give you 10 seconds to circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what types of things did you guys circle? SMS, what did you circle? Anything?
Mental health.
Empowering women in mental health. Okay, us on them, what did you circle? Us on them, what did you circle? Doesn't have to be a doctor. What else did we circle over there? Parental rights. What else do we circle over there? Malpractice. What else do we circle over here? Cruel and inhumane. I also highlighted on the board about coerced abortion and the suicide ideation. We'll get into that later. Okay, for them on us, what did you circle as their best messaging against us? Them on us. Did you guys circle anything as their best message against us? What is it? So we don't care about babies, right? And we want to criminalize women. And then them on them, what did you circle as their best messaging? Healthcare freedom. Now, if you find yourself as a yes person sitting in this room and no people, just flip it upside down. See, I told you I can teach both sides. Okay, here we go. Don't slide. Fine, slide. Okay, sit there. Everything above the line is our messaging. Everything above the line is our messaging. So the us on us and the us on them, that remains, is our messaging. If you are talking about things that are circled below the line, such as, we only care about babies before birth. So if you're talking about little itty bitty babies and the right to life of little itty bitty babies, guess what? You're on their messaging, making their case for them. Do you want to make their case for them?
No.
Can we say that with conviction? Do you want to make their case for them? No. So between now and the election, we're going to stay above the line. If you're going to talk about baby, I want you to talk about big babies. Babies that feel pain during painful late-term abortions after the point of 20 weeks or 21 weeks. We can't say viability because they put viability into the law as 36 weeks. And your friends will think, well, yeah, there's no painful late-term abortions after viability. The law says so. And that's what we have to explain. That's 36 weeks. But you can still take babies apart piece by piece at 34 weeks, and 35 weeks, and 32 weeks, and 24 weeks, right? Does this make sense to everybody? You can disagree with it, but this is the way that campaigns decide what's the best messaging. And you guys just came up with many of this stuff on your own. Before we go over into the next thing, one person from each table, take it to either the them on us, the us on us, the us on them, or the them on them. And I've got people with push pins or tall people that are going to hang those up for us. So go take those to the appropriate space on the wall. Good job, guys. You did your first Leesburg grit. Yay! It's us on us goes over there. Them on us goes over there. Us on them on them. Okay, go for it. Take your pictures. You are all going to get an email from Morton Blackwell in a couple of days. Morton's going to say, congratulations, you guys graduated from the Get Out the Vote training in Coeur d'Alene. And then he's going to tell you about MyLI. MyLI is a service that we have on our website where you can go and download all of the slides that you see tonight and something like 200 other resources. And it's all free, and it'll be on our website. It'll be a place that says MyLI. You'll get instructions. Okay. We're going to keep chugging up through because we got a lot to get through, and there's a whole lot of cool stuff coming. This is not the only time you get to participate tonight. There's going to be more. This class is every introvert's nightmare. Okay? Okay. Now we just decided what our messaging is. Now I'm going to teach you the psychology of how to deliver the messaging in a way that they want to vote with you. So we've just discussed the messaging. We just wrote out our messaging plan. Now I'm going to show you the psychology of how to deliver the message in a way that people want to vote with you. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. 4 questions, and I want you to shout out your answers so loud that people washing dishes are wondering what the heck is going on in the room. Okay, you ready? So here is question number 1. Question number 1 is, should abortion be available through all 9 months of pregnancy? 1, 2, 3. No. Excellent. Question number 2. If we went down to Boise State and on the weekend of homecoming, we did a survey of 1,000 people, would we get the same unanimous answer? No. 1, 2, 3. No. Unfortunately not. Some people will answer yes. Question number 3. Why will some people answer yes? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Stop. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. Question number 4. What was easier to answer? The first 2 questions or the third question? 1, 2, 3. The first 2. That's because the first 2 were intuition questions. This is my favorite thing to teach because it makes so much sense. People say to me, wow, Dina, you understood that person. It's not that I understood it. It's that I understand elephants. And I apply it, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. I kind of get where you're coming from. I love teaching this, so pay attention because we're going to go through it fast. This comes from the work of a guy named Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T. If you're not following Jonathan Haidt on Instagram or Facebook, you should be. He is telling you all right now how we have destroyed a generation of kids by giving them screens. Important work. He's on the forefront of kicking computers out of schools and getting back to learning. And this guy used to be a leftist Jew from New York City. Okay? So Jonathan Haidt started his research by trying to figure out what makes people happy. And then he started figuring out it had to do with intuition. And then he started working on this idea of intuition is your gut reaction. Your gut reaction is based on pattern recognition. Throughout your entire life, even before you were born, you start learning patterns. And then you learn how to apply those patterns. Think of the little kid in church when he's kind of playing during the gospel readings and during the pastor's sermon. But when you get, I'm Catholic, so you guys are going to get a Catholic example here. But when you get to the Eucharistic prayer, mom and dad say, no. This is the holy time. We got to be quiet now. We got to pay attention. Jesus is coming. You're teaching your kids the patterns of how church and what behavior is expected during church. Okay? You're learning patterns from before you were born. You come out of the womb in the labor and delivery room crying with an accent. They have done studies where they recorded babies in Japan and in Germany and in Spain and in Brazil and in the United States, and the babies cried differently. Because they learned the pattern of speech, and they came out repeating the pattern of speech. During your childhood, you're learning patterns, and you're learning behaviors that go with those patterns. And they are shortcuts to survival. Your education and your experience shape your intuition. Your education and your experience shape your intuition. Everyone's got different education. Everybody's got different experiences. That's why everyone has a different intuition. You cannot control what conclusions you jump to, where your gut reaction goes to, because it's based on your education and your experience. Does this all make sense so far? Here's a perfect example of it. I was sitting in my car on a hot, sunny summer day. It was like lovely hot, not super hot. And I was in 5 lanes of traffic, and there was a wreck up ahead, and we were shut down. I was going nowhere. I was in Gary, Indiana, just outside of Chicago. And I thought nothing of having my windows down. I felt safe. And then a report came on the radio. I like listening to talk radio when I drive. It was Sunday. The only thing on was NPR, don't judge. NPR talked about how there were 17 murders in the last 3 nights in Gary, Indiana, making it the gun murder capital of the world. And as soon as that report got done, I heard, pop, 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 pop. What did I do? I startled this poor lady. I did what?
Rolled up the window.
Rolled the window up, yeah. What did I do? Who would do something other than rolling the window up? Duck! Thank you very much. I don't know what you people are doing. You're like, the window's not going to save me from a bullet, people. I ducked. See? She goes, it's Idaho. We shoot things all the time from the road. Oh, look, how there goes dinner. Bang, bang, toss him in the back before the sheriff comes. Oh, it's Idaho. Okay, so I duck, right? And my foot's still on the brake, So I look, and the woman in the car next to me is going, "What's wrong with you?" That's when I realized it was July 5th. My brand new education, plus my experience of bang, 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 or pop, 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 pop is gunfire, overrode my knowledge that it was just after the 4th of July. Does that make sense? We have to educate people slowly, most of the time slowly, to move their Overton window in our direction. Okay? Your reasoning, you make 90%, before I get off intuition, you make 90% of your decisions with intuition. And you never think through your decisions. And if you're forced to think through your decisions, most of the time your only reasoning is to back up why you made the right decision. A couple months ago, I saw this beautiful piece of jewelry flash up on screen, one of a kind, can't get it anywhere else. It was noble, it was gorgeous. I wish I was wearing it tonight, but it's still in my suitcase. Yeah, I did it there. I bought it there. You got the kicker of the thing. It took me about 3 weeks before I bought it, but I never once talked myself out of it. Every time I thought about that opal, it was, here's the reasons why I need to buy it. I never thought about reasons why I shouldn't buy it. Or if I did, I was like, who cares about budget? Anyway, so I own my clearly opal. You do the same thing all the time. When somebody walks in to vote, they are going to vote with their gut reaction. I am pro-choice, this is about abortion, therefore I must be for abortion, I'm going to vote yes. I am pro-life, this is about abortion, I am against abortion, therefore I'm going to vote no. Unless they get educated into the opposite direction. Okay? Your reasoning kicks in. It's when you're forced to think. Again, most of the time your reasoning is to justify the gut reaction. You don't reason through decisions because it takes energy. You make about 34,000 decisions a day. You'd be exhausted at the end of the day if you had to reason through every single decision. So you literally, it's a survival thing to go with your gut. How many times do they say, just go with your gut, right? Just don't think through it, just go with your gut because your gut's always right, even when your gut's always wrong. Jonathan Haidt says that your brain is like a rider on an elephant. That is me on an elephant. There was a river over there. If that elephant got thirsty, where was I going? To the river. Good job. The elephant is just going to start meandering its way to the river. It's not going to ask me, can I go to the river? It just goes there. Now, if it is the first thing in the morning and my hair looks amazing, and I've got a 3-hour drive back to Bangkok today, do I want to go into the river? So I'm going to put a lot of effort into changing the direction of the elephant. And that effort is called willpower. If it is the end of the day and we are hot and sweaty and that river is where we go to wash and play with our elephants, am I going to change the direction of the elephant? No, we are going into that river. That's what I paid the price for this excursion to do. If there's no willpower, the reasoning won't change the direction. But you have to have a lot of willpower to override an elephant because the elephant is strong. I gave up sugar and carbs 2 weeks ago, and I'm looking at cake every time I look straight forward. The willpower is strong with this one. Okay, here's the deal. When we go to knock on somebody's door, we knock on their door. Did I do that right? No, I didn't do that right. There you go. Now I did it right. First one didn't sound right to me because I didn't do it right. So let's do that again because that was a little weird. There you go. When I go to knock on somebody's door and they answer and they say, hello, and I go, hey, I'm here for Prop 1. And I want you to vote. You guys just told me to go vote no, so in this example, we're going to do vote no. I want you to vote no on Prop 1 because abortion is murder. And because I want equal protection laws. What's that mean? Oh, I want to criminalize people that have abortions? Does that go up the rejection pathway or the acceptance pathway? This side said rejection. What's this side say? Rejection. Very good. If they say hello and I said, hey, I'm here and I'm talking to people about Prop 1, did you know that it would take doctors out of abortion? Did you know it would take health inspections out of abortion clinics? Did you know it will end medical malpractice lawsuits for women who are in labor when the doctor messes up? Did you know your dentist can do an abortion? Your licensed dental hygienist can do an abortion. Oh.
Your massage therapist can do an abortion.
Your massage therapist, does that go up the rejection pathway? Does that go up the rejection pathway or the acceptance pathway? Acceptance pathway. I have now hijacked their elephant. They can be absolutely pro-choice, but now they're on my pathway walking on the pro-life path. Oh, I don't want that. I just wanted a little bit of abortion. I don't want all the abortion. Okay, well then you need to. You said it, not me. There you go. Okay, because we don't want to have to persuade somebody into voting with us. We want to make it easy for them so that they don't have to think about what they're voting on when they go in to vote. Does that make sense to everybody? So we're going to hijack their elephants. Now, Jonathan Haidt says that we persuade people in 6 different ways. He went all around the world talking to people and watching them and figuring out how they communicate and how they persuade people. And he said 6 different moral foundations. Number 1 is caring versus harm. We want to be seen as people who care. We despise those who cause harm. The next one is fairness. The idea that we want everybody playing by a level playing field, by the same rules, and we don't like people who cheat. We don't like shortcuts. You have to put in the time, the work, the effort. This is like the doctor thing. It's not a fair, it's a, we don't, ugh. Anyway, the next one is sanctity, the idea that some things come from God and should not be defiled. I generally don't walk into churches and start cussing. There's a longer story there. We don't have time for it tonight. See me afterwards. But I generally don't walk into synagogues, churches, temples, and start cussing. Because I don't want to defile the place. It's godly, right? But here's the other part of it. There's a safety bubble system around you. So the ladies from, and then there were none, the people who used to work in abortion facilities, and then they'd come out and they'd become pro-life, they will tell stories about how when the autoclave broke down, the machine that sterilizes the instruments, if it was a surgery day, they didn't reschedule the surgeries. They just reused the instruments. And you know where those instruments are going? Even grosser, right? If you just found yourself crossing your legs and raising your shoulders up, or going, ugh, I violated your sense of sanctity. The next one is authority. Somebody in this room is in charge. It's not necessarily me. If Beverly comes in and goes, whoa, Dina, that's not what we discussed, I will stop because I have to follow authority. If these sheriff's deputies or these security guys tell us that there's a threat and we need to exit the room, I am not going to stand here and keep talking. I am going to leave the room. I will help guide everybody out with my very loud voice. Loyalty sounds exactly what it is. The opposite of loyalty is betrayal. We don't want to betray people. We want to be loyal to people. And the last one is liberty, the idea of rights, of freedom. The opposite of it is bullies. We don't like bullies. We don't like oppressive people. We don't like oppressive big corporations. And we don't like tyrannical governments. Now, the challenge that we have is that because the big lie, remember the Nazi principle of tell a big lie and tell it often enough, it becomes the truth? The big lie that's been told over the last 60 or so years is abortion is a right, abortion is a right, abortion is a right, abortion is a right. Because we are taking away a right, we become the tyrants. Even though we are giving freedom to women, because women want their babies and we are the ones that serve them and help them actually have their babies. Oh, I've got so many stories of forced and coerced abortion to show that they are the ones taking away women's rights. Even Corey, and her last name just fell out of my head, black woman from Missouri, used to be in the State House, was part of the AOC's group, the squad. Cori Bush, thank you very much. She went on The View and on public television to talk about how when she was getting her second abortion, she changed her mind. She told the abortionists, I want my baby, stop. I haven't told the father about this. I don't want to go through with this. And they said, oh, we know better than you. You've already signed the consent forms. They turned on the machine and sent her baby out. And she was asked, aren't you afraid the pro-lifers will use this story? And she said, it doesn't matter, it needs to be told. Dang straight it needs to be told. Because, let me ask, Miss Nurses over here, if you've got a patient that's going in for an elective surgery and they change their mind even when they're sitting on the bed, do you go through with the surgery or do you stop? She said we stop. Not in the abortion facilities. Anyway, they're the ones that take away liberty. I point that out because that's one of the messages we're going to have to go through. Now, I want you to be honest. I'm going to show you a commercial. It's going to be painful to watch, but we have to be honest. Will this sway people to vote with this woman? Here we go.
It's an impossible choice that no parent should have to make. I had a 3-year-old son at the time and a husband who needed me to be very much so alive. And if I didn't have an abortion, they would be without their mother and their wife. But if this constitutional amendment passes, no one in Kansas will have that choice. It could ban any abortion with no exceptions, even in cases like mine. That's my story, and I'm not alone. Vote no.
All right. Do you think that message will get people to vote and vote no on that pro-life issue? Vote against life. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, unfortunately, yes. And a message like that is going to be coming at you guys soon. So you need to speak up ahead of time and tell them that under current law, by the way, what I'm about to say to you is on this sheet of paper. It says, let's see here. Where is it? The second part, what about abortion to save the life and health of the mother? It says, abortion, instead of saying abortion is never medically necessary to save the life of the mother, say, of course, life-saving medical care, ectopic pregnancy treatments, and miscarriage care are always available to every pregnant woman in Idaho. But because of medical advancements in the past 5 to 10 years, a good doctor can now treat any woman for any medical condition. And if the baby dies, that's a tragedy, that's not an abortion. Memorize that statement, use it, and start telling people about that now to offset this messaging that's coming at you like a freight train. Okay? But let's talk about why that messaging was so strong. Did we see a caring message in there? Yes, she cares for her family. Did we see a fairness message in there? I mean, you guys are murmuring yes, but I hear the yeses. She starts off by saying it's a choice no parent should ever have to make. It wasn't fair that I had to make this choice. Was there a sanctity message in there? This one's harder to see. Did anybody see sanctity of the family? And to me, she's holding the footprints. That seemed to me like the footprint prayer, like she's still respecting the sanctity of the baby in heaven. I know, she killed the baby, so she's not respecting the sanctity. Just go with it. It's the message that you pick up that they're trying to send. Was there an authority message in there? Yes, my doctor had the authority to do this. I had the authority to do this. Was there a loyalty message in there? Yes. Who is she loyal to? Her family. I had a husband and a 3-year-old son. Not only that, but when she's saying that, they show a picture of her with a 5-year-old daughter as well. And was there a liberty message in there? Yes. Is somebody trying to take away her liberty? Yes. The pro-lifers are trying to take away my liberty. So Jonathan Haidt went all around the world studying these. Then he started collecting surveys to find out how much people endorsed or rejected each one. And this is the chart that shook out. The farther left you are politically, the more you highly endorse liberty, caring, and fairness. That's liberty, caring, and fairness up there. And then the more you reject authority, loyalty, and sanctity. Sanctity is not a 0, but as you can see, sanctity is the lowest one. Now, people think moderate is where they cross. It is not. You can see the loyalty and authority lines go over the moderate line here. A loyalty and authority cross over and are just above, but sanctity is still below. Now, for the last 60 or so years, our primary message has been the sanctity of human life. Stop abortion because of the sanctity of human life. How many of you guys put something about God on your Leesburg grid for the S on Us? Every single hand went up there. The second thing that was shouted out was, this is about the soul of the nation. Sanctity message. God's glory. Sanctity message. We respond to sanctity messages because we are social conservatives. It's above the line for us. I'm a social conservative. I love God. I love guns. I love babies. I love the military. I live in Quantico. Hoorah!
Amen.
I hate the FBI. I live in Quantico. Stop looking at me. Stop listening to me. You know? We respond to all of them, but not everybody does. So when we give the message about the sanctity of human life and the godliness is at stake, do any of the moderates, the leftists, or the very leftists move in our direction? No. Which is another reason why we don't talk about the little babies. We talk about the things that matter to them. The liberty stuff. You should be, if you're going to have an abortion, you should be free to have a safe abortion by having a doctor do it. Now, we all agree we don't want abortion. So that's a fight for 2 years. I'll come back and fight that one with y'all too. Right? But it should be safe. It should be the health inspections. If you're going to be health care, you should have health inspections. Those are all like liberty message, caring messages, fairness messages. Or better yet, it's the doctor causing harm messages. Which, remember how I had the coerced abortion highlighted? That's a doctor causing harm, or the boyfriend or the pimp causing harm messages. Those sway people in our direction. Does this make sense to people, what you're seeing on the screen? This is the most important slide I teach. And I teach like 12 different schools. If I could only teach one slide, this is the slide I teach. Right here. Because it makes sense. If you're running for office, don't give God messages. Give liberty, caring, and fairness messages. Looking at you, dude. Okay. Because he came up to me and told me he was running for office. Okay. So what messages typically work? Every time we've gone into any state and they've run one of these ballot initiatives, the messages that are best received by the moderates and the leftists and the pro-choicers, where we say, would this cause you to vote for a pro-life position? It's about men coercing women into aborting babies that the women want, so that they can escape their responsibility. So tell those stories. I'm going to tell you a couple of those stories in a little bit. Medical protections that women have become unconstitutional. Parental rights go away. You're going to talk about the baby. You talk about the baby that feels pain during dismemberment, abortion, after 15 weeks, after 20 weeks, after 21 weeks, after 25 weeks, and how abortion hurts women, infertility, depression, suicide, PTSD, etc. Here's the other thing that's missing, and I can't believe we missed this for all these years. It's why I did not stop Vicki from speaking for as long as she did. Because Vicki was talking about our pro-life pregnancy center and how much we care. You'll notice it was like I had to actually ask you guys, do we care about women, and how do we care about women? In Ohio, where they've already passed the amendment that allows abortion for all 9 months and all the stuff that they're trying to pass here, they're doing a project to try to roll back culture and reclaim culture. And during one of their sessions, one of the pro-choice women said, well, I would have voted no if pro-lifers actually cared for women and babies after the baby was born. Vicki, you pay for rent for some people, right? Shout it out so everyone can hear. She said they paid rent for people, they help people buy cars. What else? utility bills, refrigerators, clothing. It's crazy what they do for the women. Is that refrigerator for the baby? No, that's for mama. That's amazing. We need to be telling those stories and telling those stories better so that people don't think that we just forget about the women. Because look, our best messages are we help moms and babies after birth, and then the no doctors, no health inspections, no limits, no parents, no medical malpractice. That's our messaging. That's what works. Do you see how these are the liberty, caring, and fairness messages? Absolutely. Okay? So some ways that you can say this. You can, if you were, I'm going to ask these if you were a yes, and I'm going to ask these if you were a no. So if you were a no person, you might say coerced abortion is illegal and sex trafficking is illegal. This proposition will block a law that mandates abortion as screened for statutory rape and sex trafficking, putting girls at risk. Do you want a law that assists rapists and sex traffickers? 1, 2, 3. No. Then you need to? No. Good job. Okay. Do you want families to lose their ability to sue for medical malpractice after the baby dies during birth due to a doctor's negligence? No. Then you need to? No. Okay, so somebody obviously wrote this and wrote in the protections that there's no medical malpractice. So it could have been, do you want parents and families to lose their medical malpractice? Yes! Then you need to vote yes on Prop 1. See, these can go either way. Okay, should university bathrooms become abortion facilities when athletic trainers can distribute abortion pills? No. Say it with a little bit more conviction, people. 1, 2, 3. No. Much better. So then you need to? No. Excellent. And then should your daughter's boyfriend's parents be able to coerce your daughter into an abortion without your knowledge? No. You need to? No. Okay. And then should your nail salon be better inspected for safety and health than your abortion facility? No. Then you need to? No. Okay. Do you guys think you can ask those questions to people?
Yes.
Good job. Okay. Because then you need to? There you go. Okay. So any questions on how we communicate this message? No! Excellent. Then let's move on. Now, I am not going to give you a break because we're going to be doing two activities during this next session, and we only have 1 hour and 5 minutes left. If you need to use the bathroom, nobody's going to stare at you. I might. What? She's got a question.
Defining viability as not including medical treatment apply to the fairness, because to me, I mean, my sister was like a 7-month preemie. She was in an isolate for 6 weeks. So would that not be why doesn't she have as much chance of life as a baby who came out a little later?
Awesome. So the question was, would it be a fairness thing to point out that her sister was born at 7 months and had to spend 6 weeks in an incubator isolated? Is that a fairness message to say, why is it that babies who need medical help are allowed to be killed? The beauty of it is because it's your intuition, it's your gut reaction, it's whatever you want it to be. So it might be, to me, it's kind of a sanctity caring message. To you, it's a fairness message. My sister could have been aborted, and that's not fair. And that's because you've got the experience of actually having a preemie baby in your life. It's also a caring message. It's a many types message because it's whatever your intuition says it is. There are no wrong answers. Isn't that beautiful? Yes! The no yes on Prop 1. There, I said it, so I'm being both sides. Yes, ma'am. See, we were ahead of time, and now we're going to be behind time.
I don't have to ask this.
She doesn't have to ask it. What do you?
Well, I wasn't asking. I was just going to say one of my priests years ago, he was handicapped.
She didn't want to ask it, and now she's doing a story about her priest being handicapped. And we don't destroy people with disabilities in this country, so we shouldn't destroy disabled babies. Okay, are these actual questions or are they comments? Okay, in the back corner first, what's your question? Tax dollars. The question is about tax dollars. Dr. Michael New from Charlotte Lozier thinks that the tax dollars is the best message you can ever give to anybody. Unfortunately, it pulls very, very poorly. And so it's just not one of the top 5. Use it. If you've got a friend who's a CPA, use the tax thing. You know he cares about taxes, take that elephant and shove it onto that pathway. Okay? But for the most part, if the cop comes up to your window and goes, "Why were you speeding?" You're like, "Oh, because I was going to a meeting about taxes and abortion," you're probably getting the ticket. I did not get the ticket. Yes. Okay, the question about we're losing doctors. It is a lie. You can look up and see how many doctors are still within the state, licensed physicians are still in the state. It is held steady or grown. What did happen was from what I understand from a secular pro-life video, one hospital closed their labor and delivery unit because they had only done 15 labors and deliveries in the last few years. It didn't make sense anymore to keep people on staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when most weeks there was never a labor and a delivery. So that did shut down, but it wasn't because of the abortions. Well, maybe it was because of abortions, but it wasn't because of Dobbs. It wasn't because of your laws. It was because it was a financial decision. Doctors are not leaving your state. You can talk to family policy about that. You can talk direct life about that, secular pro-life. I really want to get to the next section. Good. There's still a hand up. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I want to know specifically the section that seems to be carved out that does preserve medical malpractice.
It's only if it's not in compliance with the law. So if somebody shows up drunk, and they injure you, then they're not in compliance with the law, and therefore they can be sued. But when you read it, it says that if you're complying with this law, you can't be sued for medical malpractice. Yeah. You and I can talk about that afterwards, okay? I know, we'll talk about it afterwards, okay? Because I want to make sure that you guys know how to get out the vote, and that's the most important thing. Okay, so here we go. How are elections won? How are elections won? 1, 2, 3.
Votes.
Votes! You get more votes than anybody else. Good job, guys. And where do we find voters who are likely to vote for this? Pro-family voters. Where do we find pro-family voters? Shout it out. And where else? Schools. Where else? Neighborhoods. Where else? Playgrounds. Parks. Where else? Everywhere. Yes. Basically, just talk to everybody, especially in this community. But I do want to touch on this thing on church, okay? Back in 2024, they did a survey, and then they extrapolated out, and they figured out that about 32 million weekly churchgoers were not going to vote in 2024. We cannot let that happen here. We need not only just everyone in this room and all of your friends, we need everyone to vote this election. We need to slam dunk this thing, put it away so that they don't come back next year with another bite at the apple. Or if you're a yes person, you need everyone to vote so that they can overpower your votes and then they can win. Whatever. See, I can do both sides. Okay, if you're going to go do something at church, and I do highly suggest that you do, one of the questions I get every night is, how can I get my pastor to talk about this? Okay, do I have any pastors in the room? I've got one. Are you a pastor too? 2? And somebody else is 3, 4. I've got 4 pastors. How many pastors are in this city? More than 4, right? He's saying almost 70. We got fewer than 10%. If I can't even get pastors to show up for a free dinner on how to talk about this thing without upsetting your congregants, how can we possibly get them to talk about this? So the thing is, it is not up to pastor to do it. Thank you, pastor. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not up to pastor to do it. It's up to you guys to do it. Okay? Don't rely on pastor. Don't wait on pastor. In 2006, I told you I worked on a Vote Yes for Life. It was issue 6, 2006, issue 6, Vote Yes for Life. We passed a law that would have outlawed abortion, and then they sent it to a vote of the people, and then we had a campaign on it, and everybody thought, oh, we're a 60% pro-life state. Everybody's going to vote for this. We were wrong. I knew they weren't going to vote for it because people don't vote pro-life. They vote their pocketbook. They vote because what if my sister's best friend needs an abortion because she's in that awful relationship? I don't know if you're in a relationship or not. Sorry, I apologize. I'm also touching you and you're like, oh, don't touch me. She's married with 2 babies. But what if on her 3rd baby, something medically goes wrong and her doctor tells her she needs to have an abortion, like that commercial did? I don't want her dying, so I'm going to vote yes. And that's what happens. Good people come up with reasons. I can hug my sister. I can hug my best friend. I need to make sure that they can stay alive. And they've scared me into voting yes. Sorry for petting your hair, but it's very soft and lovely and very silky. Okay. Anyway, we lost. My own pastor would not speak on this to save his soul. Crazy is exactly right. Trust me on that one. So anyway, so when you're going, I need you to do something inside the church. If you're going to do something inside the church with pastor's permission, it probably should be with pastor's permission, make an appointment with pastor. After services, pastor is tired, he is cranky, his wife, if he's not Catholic, is begging at him to go home. He's got a lot of things on his head. Oh, that's the wife right there. I'm sorry. She's got a lovely luncheon laid out for him at home, and she just wants to make sure it's served at peak deliciousness, since pastor's wife is here. So if you go up and try to have a conversation with pastor, is he going to remember that he talked to you? No. So instead, I want you to make an appointment. And when you're at your appointment, I want you to tell the pastor that you feel called. See that word called there? That you feel called to do something. Because if the Holy Spirit is calling you to do something, can pastor deny the Holy Spirit? No! And then if you can't refer to Scripture, I would like referring to Matthew. When Jesus says, give to Caesar what is Caesar, give to God what is God. Who is today's Caesar? Back then was the government. Who is today's Caesar? We are. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union and to secure the blessings thereof. Blessings come from God. We are securing God's blessings by participating in forming the government. If we don't participate in government, if we don't participate in civics, we are not doing what Jesus commanded us to do in Matthew, at least the way I read it. Okay. When possible, relate your request to pastor's message. Hey, pastor, remember 7 months ago when you talked about being more civically minded? I've really been thinking about that, and I feel like I'm called to do something. I want to do a voter registration drive at our church. Is he going to say no to that? I mean, he might, but it'd be kind of hypocritical, wouldn't it? Okay? Allow your effort to have the guidance of the church elders or the church leadership, whatever you call it in your church, and then start small and achievable to show it'll work. Now, by the way, can churches be involved in politics and public policy? Yes. Yes, ever since July 7th of last year, where the IRS wrote a letter during a lawsuit that said, you know what, we are not going to include church communications as part of the Johnson Act. So now they can communicate endorsements. Pastor can endorse a candidate. Pastor can endorse a yes or no vote. The church community can get together and vote and to endorse a candidate or a yes or no vote. They can have candidates speak. They can have spokespeople speak. They can participate in campaigns, especially issue campaigns. They can participate in issue campaigns. They can't go out and force their parishioners to participate in candidate campaigns, but they can suggest it. And then voter registration drives, all legal, all things that they can do. Let's also talk about the election timeline here before we move on, because you need to understand the election timeline. Right now, we are in voter registration, voter identification, and persuasion, as well as collecting absentee ballots. Voter registration closes on October 23rd at 5 p.m. If you're going to be out in the community collecting voter registrations, if you're going to be at church collecting voter registrations, those pieces of paper have to be turned in by October 23rd at 5 p.m. Ideally, you turn them in the next day or the next business day. Now, somebody can still vote even if they didn't get registered by October 23rd at 5 p.m. It's just that person has to come down to the polling place and he has to show his ID and prove that he's a resident, register, and then vote in person, either during early vote or on election day. So all is not lost, but you cannot register somebody to vote after October 23rd, 5 p.m. Voter identification is simply when you go door knocking. I'm going to knock again. Thank you. Somebody answer. Hello. Okay, this woman right here answered. Hi, my name is It was she is an ventriloquist, okay? Oh my gosh, these are really pretty flowers. Wow, you've got quite the green thumb. Thank you. Did you come out of your door to look at the flowers with me? Of course she did, and now she can't slam the door in my face. Hi, my name is Tina, and I'm from just down the road and around the corner. Because if you go across I-90 to I-95 and turn south, I live 3 miles off of I-95. So I'm from just down the road. I guess that's actually this way for you guys. If you go east, okay. I'm just from down the road and around the corner. I'm doing a quick survey today. It's only 3 questions. Did you know that there's an election coming up in November 3rd? You did, okay. And are you aware of Prop 1? And do you think you're going to be voting yes for abortion or no for no abortions? No abortions, okay. 1/4 bonus question, quick question. What's the most important issue for you when it comes to voting on Prop 1? What's the thing you care about most about it that makes you want to say no? Sanctity of life. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much and have a great day. Don't forget, early vote starts, because she's voting with us. Early vote starts on October 13th, or if you're getting an absentee ballot, that comes out October 18th. I want you to fill out that ballot as soon as possible. Are you getting an absentee ballot? I want you to vote early then. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Okay, so that was a voter identification. I just identified her, right? Then, if I needed to persuade her, she said, well, I'm not sure about it. I can go into my, hey, did you know it takes away doctors, it takes away health inspections, it takes away malpractice insurance, it takes away parents' rights. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you what, I have not yet met a person in Idaho that was like, so, and I did in Ohio, okay? So, and I do in Virginia right now. Oh my gosh, it's awful there. Everyone here in Idaho is like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So that's when you persuade them. You tell them those things. You ask, which of these view matters most to you? Because what you want to do is put that into your app so then the campaign can start sending stuff to her about the issue that matters most to her. To her, it would be about late-term abortion because the baby's rights matter to her. For somebody else, it might be parents' rights. For a lot of single men, it's actually the health and safety standards disappearing because they don't want their girlfriends having unsafe abortions. So it works like that. Does that make sense? Okay. Then there's this period called turnout. That's when your ballots are live and they're out in public and ready to be voted. Early vote, again, begins October 13th. Absentee ballots go live, get mailed September 18th, meaning they hit the mailboxes on September 19th. We don't have 40 days, 80 days, whatever it is until the election. We've got 30 days plus 5, 6, 7? I've lost track of what day it is. Anyway, it's not that many days left. And then the absentee ballot applications are available, can be filled out until October 23rd at 5 p.m. After October 23rd at 5 p.m., You can only get an absentee ballot if you entered the hospital after October 23rd at 5 p.m. Your state is quite strict about this. It's the first state where I've seen actual timelines for when you had to go into the hospital and get an absentee ballot. Otherwise, you've got to go vote. We're going to skip that. So let's get out. GOTV is get out the vote. Do we want to get out all the votes? Yes. Yes, no. Somebody on the yes side, give me a yes. Why yes? Yes, because we want people to vote. Somebody on the no side, tell me why no. We only want our votes. Good job. Okay. And who do we know are our votes? Watch this. You guys already know. Okay. So I've got a woman lives in downtown Boise, manages the Crystal Shop. She doesn't believe in ownership, so she's got life partner cats. Doesn't own a car, subscribes to Ms. Magazine. Is she voting with us or against us? Against us. Okay. Man has 9 kids, been married 15 years, working on number 10, 11 right now, and having a lot of fun doing it. Gun rack in the back. Oh, look, there's dinner. Bang, bang. Quick, throw it in the back. What else? Pray the Rosary sticker has an post-abortion ministry, a Project Rachel sticker on the back of his car. Is he voting with us or against us? With us. We just have to remind him why to vote with us. Make sure he doesn't get a little whiffle waffle on that. My wife may die. Okay? With that commercial that we saw. Okay, woman lives in the suburbs, drives a used luxury SUV, subscribed to outdoor hiking and outdoor photography magazines. Never married, has houseplants, no kids. College educated. Persuadable. I'll tell you what, the Democrats from Ohio called me today and they said, send me the list of the days and where you're going to be door knocking. And he sent it to me, so I sent it off to my friends in Ohio so they knew exactly when the Democrats were going to be rallying and door knocking. Because the Democrats think I'm with them. But I'm not. I describe myself. I have to be asked every year. Now, the Republicans and the pro-lifers know who I am because I show up at their meetings and I give them money. And so they mark it in their things and they're like, we don't have to spend money on this person, we know who she is. The Democrats spend a lot of money to ensure my vote. And I play games with them so often. I love the year. The one time he called me up and he called me ma'am and I said, did you just assume my gender? Okay. This is your Idaho vote page. This is your Secretary of State's page. It's one of the best in the country. Everything you need to know about elections is found on this page. So let's go through turnout things that we're going to talk about tonight. Door-to-door, phone banking, postcards, texting, letters to the editor, house parties, sign waving, tables at events, and social media. So how do we accomplish this? We get volunteers. Why do we get volunteers? Because they increase the time, money, and efforts that we're able to do. This is a quick little documentary about what it's like working with volunteers and what it's like recruiting volunteers. I was not the star of this documentary. I'm somewhere in the background. Here we go.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
Herding cats, don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here, and if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories, I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
In a sense, that is what I do. I love working with volunteers. I love going door to door with my volunteers. I love phone banking with my volunteers. And herding cats, that's what we do. How do we get volunteers in? We ask. And if they volunteer, put them to work. Oh my gosh. Okay? But if you don't ask and invite somebody to come campaign with you, they won't. So how do you, if you think you need more help door knocking, Call up your friends, call up your family, call up your church prayer group, ask. And don't just ask them like, hey, do you know anybody else who's really pro-life and wants to do this with me? Just ask, okay? And if you're a yes person, hey, do you know anybody who's really pro-choice and wants to do this with me? Just ask. See, it works both ways, okay? Make it fun, make it easy to volunteer. If somebody comes up and says, hey, I want to participate in that, write down their name, write down their phone number, write down their email address. Get it to the Family Policy Council, get it to Sarah Johnson, get it to any of the party people, get it to the campaign of your choice, and get them involved. Don't let volunteers go languishing, and don't make sure you call them back. Respect volunteers' time, communication, give campaign updates to your volunteers, lead by example. Your campaign leaders should be out door knocking with the volunteers. And then the last thing and the most important thing is be grateful. If you helped set up tonight, if you were all at this table, I kill trees. I also injure the backs of baggage handlers at the airports. I'm not happy about that one, but I do kill trees. And all of the papers on your table, take them all with you. They are not coming home with me. This is my last one in Idaho for a few days. I do not want any paper left tonight. So if you help put out papers tonight or if you help people sign in, people stand up so we can thank you. She's refusing stand. Thank you, guys. Way to go. Thank you. Again, as I told you, this is the introvert's worst nightmare is my presentation. Yes, ma'am, you got a question about volunteers? There's going to be lots of mass marketing, and that would be a great question to ask at the end, or ask any of the people who are actually participating in the campaign, because officially I'm not participating in the campaign. Got it? Make volunteering fun, and then let's get into some of your things. First, voter registration drives. This is your website for registering people to vote online. It is super simple and easy to use. I could have registered myself if I was a resident here in Idaho, which sadly I am not. The great news is you do not have any restrictions with voter registration drives. Anybody can do one. In Virginia, I have to take a 45-minute class before I can do a voter registration drive. You guys can just do it. It's on the screen there. Oh, these are the steps during a voter registration drive. They need to be a U.S. citizen. They must be a resident of Idaho for at least 30 days. They must be at least 18 years old in order to register to vote. Those are your requirements for it. The idea is that you're going to have information on your table about the campaigns of your choice. Don't get bogged down in debates. Your idea is that you want to find out if they're voting with you, whichever side that you're on, get them registered. Don't reject somebody. If they come up and they say, I want to register to vote with you, but I'm voting in the opposite direction, still register them to vote. We don't need that news story. But for the most part, it's like, oh, you're voting with us? Are you registered to vote at your current location? Here's the form. Let's fix that. Okay, voter contact text. This is something you can do starting tomorrow or even tonight. Just sit down, look at your phone list. I've got 5,000 people on my phone. If Chris Freeze still lived here in the state, I can easily send Chris Freeze a text that says something like, hey, I just learned that Prop 1 will, somebody give me a reason, or something that Prop 1 will do.
Allow your dental hygienist to give an abortion.
Allow your dental hygienist to give an abortion. Do you want that? I, fill in the blank, do or do not? Do not. Because of this, I am voting no. Will you vote with me? There you go. Now, I know this works because this is my brother-in-law's finger. My brother-in-law, I was told, never voted before in his life, would not vote, hated politics. I didn't talk to him about politics for 15 years. When issue 1 came up in Ohio, I pulled him aside at Easter and I was like, hey, dude, I really need you to get registered to vote, and I really need you to go vote. He's like, I'm registered. I just don't vote because nobody tells me how to vote, and nobody tells me when to vote. You'll vote if I tell you how to vote and who to vote for? He said yes. Guess what? I now vote in Ohio. There you go. Then there's this app called Numenar that will do it all for you. It will write the text for you. It will find voters in your phone that live in Idaho. It's really cool. It's really nifty. I bet some campaign will be using it. Have a house chart party or a church social. This is a great way to introduce your friends, different friend groups, or just have one only with the pickleball team. Have one only with the church ladies. Have one only with the wine club or whatever it is that you guys do up here. Have one only with the 4-H moms. Get them together, clean your house, that's number 3 on the list, and then talk to them about Prop 1. These are 10 steps to having a church or a house party. Do it. It's a lot of fun. Voter contact postcards. This one boggles my mind. The first time I saw postcards handwritten, I thought, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Then last fall, the Diocese of Arlington actually did a study to figure out whether or not it worked. They took our vote list of people who did not vote in 2021 for governor, compared it to their membership list, had people like me write letters to the people on the membership list who did not vote for governor in 2021. The letter said something like this: "Hi, John. I am also a parishioner at St. Teresa Parish. I just learned that Proposition 1 will..." Fill in something for me, somebody. It's like ad-libs. "Take away parental rights," she said. "Do you want that? I do not. Because of this, I am voting no. Will you vote with me? See you at church, Dina." And they found that 20% of the people that received a postcard like this voted in a record down year for governor, but did not vote in the record up year for governor. They turned out even when nobody else was turning out, 20%. If I had anything else that got a 20% turnout, trust me when I say I would be telling you to do it. Do this. Get some cards. Write some notes. "Dina, I don't have any lists." BS. You've got a Christmas list. You've got your wedding list. If it's not your wedding list, you've got your child's wedding list. You've got your child's baptism list. Anytime you've thrown a party, you've got a list of people that you send it to. My church prints a directory once every 2 years with names and addresses in it. If you've got that list, if you've got the list from your kid's soccer team, you've got lists. You just have to look at them and think about it for just a moment. The idea is you start writing those postcards now, you stamp them now, and you send them 1 to 2 days before the election begins. That says October 5th. They actually want you to send them September 15th or 16th so that they arrive with the absentee ballots. And then maybe you do a second set again on October 11th so that they arrive on October 13th, first day of early voting. Voter contact link drop. Now I told you, my pastor at St. Michael's would not speak about vote yes for life to save his life, to save his soul. And may God help his soul because it's somewhere in purgatory right now. Okay, this is what we did. He wouldn't talk about it, so I stationed a whole bunch of teenagers down here with lit, and then I walked up to the front, and by the time I got in the front door, the opening hymn had begun, and Pastor Smith had started walking up the front aisle, and now I can't ask Chuck Smith whether or not we could do his parking lot. So I figured he's pro-life, he's Catholic, he must be for this. So I turned the kids loose. And they went running and they hit every single car. And by the time they got to the front of the church parking lot, where the ushers were standing outside and said, "Hey, what you guys doing?" And they said, "We're dropping off information about the election." And the usher said, "Are you allowed to do that?" So they said, "We think so. Ask Pastor." Well, Pastor was like, "I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters, that I am greatly sinned." Too late, dude. Can't interrupt that prayer. And if the ushers yell out and say, "You can't do that. You go, oh, sorry. Don't tell your friends. Just you. They only told me I can't do that. And then you go and you do all the streets and all the parking lots nearby the church. Because, hey, nobody's going to stop you on the public streets. It's the law. And nobody's going to stop you on parking lots because the owner of the parking lots ain't around. So hit them. Next one, sign waving. Now, you only get the sign waving in conservative areas. So I don't want to see you all sign waving outside of like university football games. You only get to do it when you cannot knock doors or where you cannot knock doors. So if you're able to knock doors, go knock the doors. But if you can't knock doors, go sign waving. And I want you to consider doing a Burma-shave ad. The Burma-shave ad is when you put several signs together to make a message. So this one says, it's for the best, for one who hits the bottle, to let another use the throttle. Now, right now, in your group, for the next 3 minutes, your table, I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes. See if you can come up with a Burma-shave ad on the campaign of your choice. 1, 2, 3, go! By the way, this is what I did. Women's rights are at risk. We need your vote. Vote yes on 6.
Rein in the tax.
Oh, if anybody wants to give an interview, poor Cody here has been waiting all night to interview people. Everyone say hi, Cody. If you're enjoying what we're doing so far tonight, or if you've had fun, or if you've learned something, go with Cody right now. Yeah, go Cody, go! Everyone, go with Cody! Everyone, walk out the door and go with Cody! Good. Okay, the rest of you keep doing Burma-shave ads. Okay, I'm going to work with you on the Burma-shave ads because you've been abandoned. If you think you come up with a Burma-shave ad, bring it on up. I know you're still working on it. I'm just saying we want to hear them, but I'm not going to run around the whole room. So come forward. Okay. We've got 5 examples. Here we go. Go for it.
Okay, number 1. If you care to protect moms and babies, tell a friend and vote no on 1.
Women's rights are important. Don't let abusers force abortions. Vote no on 1.
Excellent!
Women have fought for every right. Know what Prop 1 could change tonight. Read it, know it, make your choice, protect your rights, and use your voice. Vote no.
That's amazing. You know that one, too.
Doctorless abortion is not fun. That's why we need you to vote no on 1.
Idaho needs doctors involved in women's health care. Vote no on Prop 1.
Did you know Prop 1 will allow your tattoo artist to perform abortion?
There you go. Abortion, Prop 1. Okay, I get it.
Your dentist pulls teeth, not babies. Vote no on Prop 1.
Ooh. We got some humdingers tonight.
Love them both, mother and baby. Vote no on Prop 1.
Good job.
Voter beware, this will scare. No doctor needed, I'm pleading. Vote no, Prop 1.
Good job.
Cute baby cheeks need to be saved. Vote no, Prop 1.
Oh, cute baby cheeks need to be saved.
Women's rights out the door. Medical safety no more. Don't want safety undone? Please vote no on Prop 1.
The double rhyme. Good job. I want that one too. Okay, anybody want to do one on yes? And you need 2? I I tried. Okay, all right. Okay, let's talk about tables and booths at events. What major events are coming up where you might want to have a table or a booth? Start shouting some out. The fair. What else? The what? Yeah, the fair. I got that one. What else?
Molly days.
Holidays?
Molly days.
Holidays. Oh, holy days?
Molly damn days.
Unholy days.
Onion days.
The onion days. Oktoberfest. The something. Paul Bunyan Day. Sorry, I'm not from here. I don't have it. Yeah, you got to celebrate Babe the Ox by talking about saving babies and women. Okay. The farmers market. Yes. Where else? Huckleberry Festival. Good job. These are places where you should have a booth or a tent or a table. You should have information there. You should give out signs there. You should tell people what to vote yes or no on one there. You can talk to voters. I also want you getting pledge cards. The idea comes from Robert Cialdini. He says that when somebody makes a small commitment to a case, they want to follow through with that commitment, and then they also want to make bigger and bigger and bigger commitments. So I hate when I say something accidentally like, I'll make sure you guys get your email tomorrow, because then suddenly I'm like, oh crap, I got to get that email out. I'm not making that promise to you guys. I got a 5 a.m. flight. It's not going out tomorrow. But people want to make it, if you make them make a commitment, they want to follow through with their commitment, and then they'll make bigger and bigger commitments. So if you have them sign a pledge card at your booth, it does two things. Number one, it identifies the voter. And number two, in their brains, they have now committed to voting how you want them to vote, and they will want to follow through with that. And then number three, because we've identified the voter, we can now follow up with the voter to ask them to vote. Now, you can still do this even if you can't have a table. Wear the t-shirt that corresponds with the campaign of your choice, and then carry around a clipboard with, sign up here to give more information, or sign up here to pledge to vote. And then carry the rack cards with you of the campaign of your choice so that you can pass out information about that campaign. Does that make sense to everybody? Excellent. Next one, letters to the editor. I want you writing letters to the editor. I also give you full permission to use AI to help you write letters to the editor. But basically, I want you to flood the editor's office with good letters about why to vote the way you want them to vote. So here is one that I put together. Well, before I get to the one I put together, I want you to be succinct. 150 words is awesome. If you can do it in 150 words, that is great. And it's much more likely to be run than one that's 200 words. 200 words is good. 300 words is the absolute limit. You go over 300, you're not going to get run. And if you don't get run, you don't get read. Okay? If you're going to be referring to a topic or you're referring to an article that's already run, you need to refer back to that article with the name of the article, the author, and the date it ran. But here's some best practices. Have a strong opening. So in this one I wrote, in Minnesota, a teenage girl committed suicide after being forced and coerced into abortion by an older man without her parents' knowledge. The beautiful girl, a pastor's daughter, wanted her baby, but the baby's paternal grandfather did not. After threatening her, he drove her to the abortion facility where, despite her protests, she had the abortion. She was so depressed afterwards, distraught that she was forbidden from telling her parents, and unstable because of teen hormones, that she chose to go be with her baby. So tell the story when possible, appeal to emotion. Stay on topic. Do you want this to happen to our girls? Proposition 1 grants the right to abortion to, quote, every person regardless of age. This eliminates Idaho's parental consent laws. Abortionists will perform abortions on teenagers without their parental knowledge. Don't plagiarize, I'm telling you this because I stole this next paragraph. And then also hide the evidence in chat. See this really long dash? That's called an M dash. That dash is called an M dash. That is something that ChatGPT loves to use. Just replace it with a comma and act like you wrote it yourself. But again, Not my paragraph. I stole it from some other lady. But it's a very good paragraph, which is why I stole it. Abused girls become vulnerable to coerced abortion because the abuser hides his crime by disposing of the evidence, her underage pregnancy. Imagine if your daughter's boyfriend convinced her to perform sexual favors for his friends. This is a form of sex trafficking, and often the only time parents find out is when there's an unexpected pregnancy. Under Prop 1, her trafficker can pay for the abortion without your knowledge, and your daughter can remain in sex slavery. By the way, that happened to one of my best friends in high school. We just thought he was an icky guy. She was probably being trafficked. So that's keeping a professional tone and using logic. And then I want you to close with a strong call to action. Call to action means you tell them to do something. Protect teens from coerced abortion. Keep good parents involved. Vote no on Prop 1. That whole letter was 215. There's probably a few cases where I could have skimmed out a few more words just to get under 200, but I think that's a decent letter to the editor. And if I hadn't plagiarized, I would gladly give it to one of you guys to turn it in. But I plagiarized some of it, so I'm not going to. The last thing you need to do is identify yourself. They don't put your name and address in the paper for most cases, but instead they can follow up with you to make sure that you are who you are and this is really how you feel. So Dina Espenshide, there's my address in Quantico, my email address, and my phone number. Next up, by the way, that story of the teen suicide, absolutely true. It is part of a federal lawsuit right now that's going on in Minnesota. It happened. Social media. The only thing that you can post on social media to actually get somebody to turn out the vote is I voted. So I want you to post I voted stickers. I want you to post I voted messages. Take a picture of yourself at the polling place when you go to vote early and post that up. One of my good friends in Florida today posted that she voted today because she's traveling next week. And I was so proud of her because I'm like, yes, that will get people like us voting. Why? Because social media is an echo chamber, meaning that people only see your messages if they tend to agree with your messages. So when you say I voted and you push people into voting, you're pushing people who think like you into voting. Do I also want you voting or posting pro-life messages? Absolutely. Stay on message of the campaign. Why? Because those are the messages that they're like stalactites and stalagmites. It's the one drop at a time, but it slowly builds over time to let people know to change. Remember, education and experience shifts their intuition. It slowly shifts their intuition from, oh, this is about abortion. I want some abortion, yes, to, oh, this is about abortion. I don't want this. No. So do post those messages, the pro-life messages, but also post I voted. And then everything else I talked about was scattershot. These next two are very targeted, they're time intensive, and they're labor intensive. So we're only going to do them to specific people. And you've already demonstrated that you know which doors we're going to be knocking on and which doors we're going to be calling as conservatives. The reason why we go door knocking is because 1 out of every 16 doors finds us a new voter. 1 out of every 16. Now you might say, Dina, that doesn't seem like a lot. It's huge. So each of these tables has got 8 seats. So that table, I door knock, everybody's voting. The next table, I door knock, half of them are voting, 2 of them, 3 of them decided not to vote at all. And I get to the last lady, the lady there in red. And she goes, oh my gosh, my mom has been sick and I've been out of town and the kids and all the stuff going on and we're selling a house. I completely forgot that the election is Tuesday. Now I've reminded her. And then I say, are you still voting with us? And she says, yes. And I say, good. What time do you plan on voting? Now I'm making her make a commitment to vote on what time she's voting. She's making a plan in her head. Ma'am, what time do you typically vote? Noon. Okay, if you don't vote by noon, I'm going to call you back by 2 p.m. to remind you. And now I've threatened to follow up with her. You better bet she's going to remember by 2 p.m. to go vote. Just so that she doesn't disappoint me. Because that's the way our brains work. So that 1 out of 16 is really, really important. And for phone calling, it's 1 out of every 36. Super, super important, because those are the best 2 ways that we've got that we know we can get a commitment for somebody to turn out. The postcard, I don't know whether you're committing to vote or not. I'm sending it hoping you'll make a commitment to vote with me. But with these 2, we can get them to make that verbal commitment, and that's going to drive them to actually go out and vote. When we go door knocking, it makes the house 6% more likely to vote. It makes the whole community 15% more likely to vote. There's going to be a script. You'll have a script on your phone. It'll tell you what houses to knock, what voters to ask for, and generally what to say. Stick kind of with the script, but also be conversational, which is why I start with a question that's not related to politics at all. Because it gets them to trust me just a little bit, and then I slap them with the politics afterwards. Okay? So, let's see. This is what losing campaigns tell me. This is what losing campaigns tell me when I ask them to go door knocking. This is what losing campaigns say.
No, I don't want to do that.
I'm going to have a great time.
No.
You might meet some new people.
No.
Even make some new friends.
No. No.
Okay. But then you can say to me, now, I'm sorry, this is Batman saying it to me. Dina, I live in a rural area. I am Batman. I cannot door knock rural homes because there's gates. What do I do? That was my Batman voice. I am not Batman. Okay, thank you for the applause for the impression. If you've got not gated communities, if you've got gated ranches and gated farms and you can't get to the front door, put your lit in a bag and tie it to the door, tie it to the gate. If there happens to be a lot of South Dakota ranches have a little box there where you push the button and make a call to the house. If there is, go ahead and push the button, call the house, ask. Hey, I'm out here, I'm just door knocking for Prop 1. Can I come in? No? Well, then let me just ask you this. It's about abortion. Did you know, ... And you follow through with the rest of your script and try to get it door knocked that way. Okay? Door knocking is really easy, especially when your neighborhoods are lined out like this. This was actually the neighborhood we were in on Saturday. I would love to door knock that neighborhood. That looks gorgeous and so easy and walkable. And so if we can door knock like all of Coeur d'Alene and all of the smaller cities around, we will get out the vote. We will drive out the vote for the conservatives in this next election. I know most of the conservatives are like, well, I don't need the votes, but your statewide do and your issues do. I want you to use the curiosity hook. You've already heard mine. I do the shape of the haircut. This is somebody knocking on my parents' door. My dad took this video. I love this video. I think it's a great example. My mom answered the door 3 times because this person would not stop knocking on the door. And so she sent my dad to go find out who the heck was knocking on the door. And it's because it's a curiosity hook. It doesn't follow the normal pattern. Dad, who was it knocking on your door? Thank you, Dad. It was a woodpecker. Okay. We're getting a new door this year. Okay, so when I knock, first I knock. I don't do the 2 bits because you fill that in. Then I take the lit piece and I shove that sucker between the door and the door frame as far as I can get it in. I shove it between the door and the door frame wherever possible. Here's why. Number 1, it ain't blowing away. Number 2, if the opposing campaign comes, it can't accidentally fall off and get picked up and put in your pocket like it's garbage. Number 3, if, like my parents, they don't use that door as their front door. They use their side door. So when they go walking past inside the house, what the heck is that sticking out of my door? They get the message even if they're not home. It doesn't sit on front for weeks on end. And number 4, I can't remember what number 4 was. But anyway, number 4, it saves time. Because here's what I do. I knock. And then I shove it in. And then I step off the porch and down the stairs onto the sidewalk. And I don't look at the door in the house. I look at anything but. I look at the Halloween decorations. I look at the plants. I look at the clouds in the sky. I look at the cars. And I wait. And yes, is it unnerving to wait and not see if somebody's coming to the door? It is. I do a slow 30 count or so. And I don't turn around, because if they come to the door and they look out, and I'm standing there like, do you want to answer the door? No. But if I'm like looking at the clouds or looking at the plants, you're like, what is she doing there, right? So then they answer the door. And then the first thing I do is I say something unexpected. Does that cloud look like Winnie the Pooh to you? You have a really pretty street. I think this is one of the prettiest streets I've doorknocked yet this year. I did this Dorothy Moon the other day when I went up to their office. I was like, that plant there with the white leaves and with the green in the middle, that is really cool. And Dorothy, she steps out, she goes, what plant? When she steps out to look at what plant, can she slam the door in my face? And can she refuse to talk to me? No. Which means she has to talk with me. Now, she doesn't answer the door. The other thing is, my lid's in the door, right? Do I have to walk back up the stairs to put the lid in the door? No, I just walk on. If there's a Ring doorbell camera, I knock, I ring it. I'm like, hi, my name is Dina, and I'm door knocking for this candidate. This candidate's the best candidate. This candidate's going to do the exact thing you want them to do. It's all on the lid here. I left it in your door. So vote for this candidate. I hold it up in front so they're looking at the candidate, not me. Right? And then again, when they answer the door, if they answer the door, we've already run through it. Hi, my name is Dina. I'm from just down the street and around the corner. I'm from the community. I'm whatever else. And then you kind of launch into, I'm out here door knocking. Oh, I hate having to talk about abortion in public, but you know, it's on our ballot, unfortunately. Have you any thoughts on Prop 1? You know, and you just get them to kind of answer the questions as the best you can pull the answers out on them. Give them the reasons why they should vote yes or no, depending upon which side you're on, and then thank them very much and move on. Got it? Good. Okay. Let's practice door knocking. By the way, smile. Oh, one other thing. If there's closed body language, if they look uncomfortable, if they're crossing their arms and stuff, let them go. Because if they are moving into fight or flight, you're not going to be able to persuade them anyway. They're going into survival mode. And you're like, hey, I'm just out here door knocking, having fun. And they're ready to fight. Let them go. Let them go. Don't fight with people. You only make them more convinced that they're right and you're wrong. Okay, let's do a quick door knock activity. We're going to do this in about 2 minutes. I want 2 to 3 people from each table to stand up. 2 to 3. Bill just got volunteered. Okay. Do you guys really not want to do the door knock activity? Okay. I've got one. Let's do it. And I've only got 5 people standing up. Okay. I'll tell you what. The people that are standing up, come on up. Come on up. Here's what we're going to do. By the way, always record this stuff. Okay. I only need like 3 or 4 volunteers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. No more. Everyone else goes to back down. Always record your information on your phones. Sure. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Door knockers, come over here and look at this. Let's see here. Door knockers, here's what I want you to do. I want you to know, did they know about Prop 1? How are they voting? What's the most important issue for the voter? Door answerers. You guys are going to answer the door for me. Okay? Hold on. Okay, door knockers. You got it? Okay, who's going to door knock me? I'm going to be the first person to answer. Okay, who wants to door knock me? I'm the first person to answer. Okay. Somebody door knock me.
Know that there's no
Go ahead and do a door knock. Hi, can I help you? I know a little bit about Prop 1. Isn't that about ranked choice voting? No. Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing at me? I don't want you to be nervous. We'll get through this together. What are you doing on my doorstep?
Door knocking.
Okay, you knocked the door. You were successful. Congratulations.
You know about Prop 1.
Apparently not if it's not about ranked choice voting. I thought we already voted on that.
Abortion.
Abortion. I love abortion. I think it's great.
Then you probably should vote the way you feel. I'm recommending you vote no. Thank you.
Well, is there, what's the most important part? There you go. Well, I want to make sure that abortion remains available in Idaho and that it's safe for women.
Did you know that anybody that with a license in the medical field can perform abortions?
No, they can't. Only doctors can perform abortions.
This Prop 1 passes, that's true. Physical therapists can perform an abortion.
That's insane. I have to look into that. Thank you very much. Okay, good try. Okay, come on up. You get somebody different to answer your door.
Hello?
I'm tired. Right there.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Just up just on the other side on the road there. Yeah. Were you the one that got the new fence installed?
No, right next to it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. So is that fence good quality? Do you think, I've been thinking about putting a fence in myself. And it sounds like Idaho Fence was doing that. So I was wondering if you thought it was good quality.
One of the comes time Prop 1. Have you heard about Prop 1?
I haven't heard of Prop 1 now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Do you think that maybe the same fence would work on the side here?
I'm sure it'd be just fine. I think it would look nicer on your.
Yeah.
But get back to Prop 1.
Sure.
Abortion. What are your views on it?
Sure. I mean, some people like it, some people don't like it.
Right.
Is there a vote happening soon?
Well, yes, it'll be coming in November.
Okay.
Actually starting, I think, October, September.
Sometime in the next couple of weeks or something?
5 weeks or so, I think.
Okay.
So do you have any ideas how you're voting on it?
Not really, no. I haven't really thought about it.
Well, how do you feel about?
I'm putting you guys out of your misery here. Okay, his instructions were to talk about anything but the amendment or the proposition. So he did very well at that. I was originally going to go hardcore abortion, but she was like so nervous that I was like, okay, we can do this. I'll help you through. By the way, that's one of the tips. If you can act like you're nervous at the door, people have this intrinsic need to help you. So, watch. Hi, my name's Tina, and I'm sorry, I'm just really nervous because I've never done this before. And I'm out door knocking on oh my gosh, my throat's so dry. On Prop 1 today, which is the one about like women's health and abortion and stuff. And I was just wondering how what's the words I'm looking for? How are you going to be voting? Thank you so very much on Prop 1. I would love some water, but how do you think you're going to be voting on that? How should you be voting on? I'm voting no, because I don't think it's right. And it makes abortion without doctors, and it takes away medical inspections of clinics, and it takes parents out of it. So I don't think that we should be voting on that. I don't think that we should take doctors out of the abortion equation and parents out of the abortion equation. Do you? That sounds awful. No, then that means we need to vote no on Prop 1. Can I count on your no vote on Prop 1? Great, thank you very much. Don't forget, early vote starts on October 13th. It's just a little acting, people. And that's the cool thing. If you're like, I don't want to go door knocking, it's so nervous. Pretend to be somebody else and do it anyway. Okay? 2 last things to cover. Phone banking, you can do the same thing on phones. Don't be so nervous on the phone. Smile. Just sit in a comfortable seat. Turn on your app. And it'll tell you, like, it'll play some music, then it'll beep, and then you're just off to the races. Your phone will tell you who you're calling. You're going to want a hands-free device like earphones when you do that. That way you can look at the screen and talk to the people at the same time. And again, sit in a comfy chair because you'll make more calls. I always found that if I asked my volunteers to call for 15 minutes a night, they would give me 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to ask you to commit to 15 minutes every night, because that way you'll give me 45 minutes to an hour. We're not going to do the phone call activity tonight. The last thing I want to cover here in the last few seconds is, when should we vote? When should we vote? Somebody just said early. Oh, I love that person. Here's the deal. I know a lot of people in Idaho are very libertarian leaning and say, I'm going to vote on election day because that's when the law should say, and that's constitutional. Here's the deal though. We can't change the law unless we win the elections. This is my girls' 4th grade basketball team. I am in this picture. I am in my basketball uniform from 4th grade. Until 4th grade, we practiced at basketball. We played basketball at Southgate School. It's a public school down the street from St. Teresa School. Southgate School's gym is smaller than one section of this room. It is itty bitty. There is no room for 3-point lines. So as 1st graders, as 2nd graders, as 3rd graders, we did not practice 3-point shots. But St. Mary's, St. Joe's, and St. Anthony's all had big gyms. Their girls practiced 3-point shots when they were in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. And so they started making them by the time they were in 4th grade. When we played, do you think my team tried to shoot 3-point shots? If we tried, they didn't go anywhere. Did we play against teams who were shooting and making 3-point shots? Yes. Who do you think won the game? St. Teresa or St. Mary, St. Joe, and St. Anthony? The other people, yes. You have to play by the rules that are on the court. Do not be like St. Teresa girls, 1988, 86, 4th grade basketball team. Be better than us. I want you to lock in your vote this year early, either by early in-person voting or by mail-in ballot. Here's why. Number 1, it locks in your vote. Nobody can request your ballot once you've requested your ballot. Nobody can return a ballot with your name once you've returned your ballot. So if you do it the first day, your ballot is sealed, it is stuck, it is cast, it cannot be changed, and nobody else can steal it. That's the number 1 thing. Number 2 thing is it locks in your vote. If, God forbid, you and a black bear meet in the woods, or a grizzly bear meet in the woods, you have voted. And we don't need the grizzly bear to come in with your remains to vote for you. You think I'm joking. Now, I might be joking on the bear part, but the number of stories I have received through the years where somebody comes up to me and says, my husband didn't vote and here's what happened. Especially in trying them to vote. So in 2024, it was $100. So I've got 5 people sitting at this table, $500. If they all get their absentee ballot on September 18th, and they return it by September 20th, on September 21st, I take their names off the list. Now I can take the remaining of that $500, let's just say it's $450, and I could take that and I could go back here to this table where I never thought I would have the money to reach these people because they were kind of on the edge of my get out the vote effort. And now I can send them the postcards, and I can send them the text messages, and I can send them the digital ads, and I can send them the door knockers, and I can send them the phone calls. But I couldn't reach these guys until these guys voted because I didn't have it in the budget. Do we want to turn out as many people as absolutely possible for this election? Then vote early. Vote on the first day. Not you, sir. I'm going to waste all $100 on you trying to make sure that you vote and keeping you alive so that you vote on November 3rd. But everybody else, we're going to take the resources that were dedicated to you and we're going to send them to other people so that the campaign can reach more people. And let's all pray for him that he doesn't fall down a flight of stairs and end up breaking his leg and not be in the hospital. Because if he falls down a flight of stairs on October 24th, breaks his leg, and is not in the hospital, he can't vote because he can't get an absentee ballot because he's not in the hospital. Not if you're not in the hospital. Yeah. The campaigns will know who voted because it's they can get the list of everybody who returned back an absentee ballot. They know. Early voting is in person and your name gets struck from the rolls. When you return a ballot or you vote early, your name gets taken out of the voting rolls so that you can't vote again. Okay, well, you were wrong and that's okay. I want everybody else to vote early except for these two. Pray for them that they stay alive. Okay? Are there any questions? Because the other thing it does is it allows us to build a volunteer army. Every one of you guys should be taking off work on election day to help the campaign of your choice. Now, if the campaign says, hey, look, I don't need you in your county, but where I really need you is one county over where we've got some issues. But you have not voted early, guess what? I can't put you one county over where we've got issues. Because now I got to keep you in your county at your polling place. You've tied the campaign's hands. And then the last one is reach more people, frees up campaign resources. Have I explained all these pretty well? Yes. Please, 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 other than those two people, everyone go vote early. Get your absentee ballot on the first day possible. Return it back as soon as possible. Yes, sir. Last question of the night.
What was the website that we can go and get all of these screenshots?
LeadershipInstitute.org. It will be in my LI, and Morton Blackwell will be sending you an email about that. Thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight. Good luck to you and good luck on your campaigns. See y'all later.
I want to thank you all for coming here. I hope you understand that almost anything is possible and surprising. Most surprising thing I learned is that Dina played basketball and I didn't. Remember, we got the baby balls here. There's signs out front for pickup. Get all the literature off your tables on the way out of here. Thank you very much. Hope you had a good time. Have a good evening. Drive safe.